Yes, it never.
Whammy.
The system is
Because I am a
So 116
16.
shows, and not one person's written in and saying Matt's an idiot. Why does the show start the same thing?
No,
way?
people don't like it. People are like, why does the show start weird? It always sounds like you guys are in mono, and then all of a sudden it just jumps in. Why does that happen? I'm like, you know what? Because I just don't get it.
Then why do you have to comment on it?
I don't know. It just drives me crazy
Let it
every
go,
single
man.
time.
Let it go.
I can't.
Blame it on Ted.
Don't you get into that thing like I can't. You know what I can't let go? I can't let go that people don't put their weights away.
Dude, you're on a.
I can't let go.
I don't know.
You know what I really can't let go? It drives me crazy when people use the electric door when they hit the button for the handicap door.
And they're able-bodied.
And they're perfectly able to just open a door.
I did that all day yesterday on the tour.
You hit the handicap button?
To keep it open for all the people behind us. Yeah.
I would have slapped you. Yeah. I would have been like, see him? Do you see him? Look, he's going to do it again. He's going to do it again. You would have, you know what? I would have become focused because I think that's part of me being a red and being an idiot. But then I just become hyper-focused.
Yeah, I never hit the button either, but it was so annoying because
it kept closing, right?
Yeah.
Because you had like 20 people in the group, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like 5.
That's it?
One, 2. No, more than 5. Like less than 20. Like, I don't know, 15.
And in your opinion, your official, real Three Idiots opinion of the University of Iowa?
It blew me away. It's incredible. It's huge.
It's a nice hat, too.
It's huge. Thank you. $17, man.
Yeah.
At like almost 40% off.
It's like you felt like you stole something, huh?
So the running
I like
gag,
Iowa stuff.
The running gag was, you you go on a tour. It's like a 2-hour tour after you sit down, and I'm like, okay, Lyle, just be prepared because every question I have is going to be like, so do you know Caitlin Clark? Where's Caitlin Clark's dorm? It was going on and on. Finally, it was.
Were you guys sad when the men lost the championship to UConn the other night?
So we go into we go to see a dorm, and I'm like, is this Caitlin Clark's dorm?
Did you really do that?
No, but I was doing it with Lyle because
I love setting that up with my family that I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, I did that
because it makes I think it makes my sister like, oh my God, he's not gonna do it. Please don't do it.
He was aware that
cringeworthy.
Yeah.
that at around every turn there could have been a stupid Caitlin Clark question by me.
Lyle, look at that bench. How many times do you think Caitlin Clark just said, I'm a little tired, I'm going to sit right
You
here?
should have brought a Caitlin Clark fathead, like the full-size NFL player. Just
She's
walk
all
around
over
with it.
campus. And then her likeness and everything. And then the funny thing, too, is like there was a girl, like a brunette, sitting at a table by a building. I'm like,
Did you
oh,
really?
my God, is that Caitlin Clark? I'm like, I'm going to ask her. He's like, don't you dare. I'm like, I think that's her.
No, I actually like the look-alike. So,
my God!
So there was a story like not too long ago. There was a look-alike. I can't remember what it was.
Oh, I
like,
saw that,
Like,
yeah.
like I don't know if it was like an Angelina Jolie, but she makes money like just going to appearances.
There's a whole
There's an
there's
industry.
industry.
Yeah. Like people, they just naturally look. Like, I'm not talking about like an Elvis impersonator. I'm just talking about like a normal person who just looks like a celebrity. I think there's like an Ed Sheeran guy walking around. And,
No, there's a whole
Yeah.
thing. They go to your parties and they do stuff. Yeah. Oh, let me do this. The start of the show is sponsored by Vice Golf. Premium quality at a fair price. Visit vicegolf.com for all of your golf needs.
I went to vicegolf.com. That's not their website.
It's not? Is it? Wait, did you type in?
He was taking
I think you spelled it wrong. I think you spelled it PORN.
He went to the VICCE.com website.
VICCE.com
website.
Oh,
I'm going
my
to try
God.
this.
All right. While Mark is wasting time on the computer looking things up, we got to do some updates, man.
Yep, vicegolf.com.
Okay. So what they sent me to say was accurate.
Yeah, it's a very
Okay.
nice
So
website.
so
too.
no, they're pretty good at that. I'm assuming the people in the marketing department are like, Homer.
Did you tell them before they took on this task that if they're ever looking for brand new balls, they should check on the 17th hole at Chevy Chase, the water, where Ted hits it every time?
I don't think we don't allow him to use a good ball.
I actually went in the water twice yesterday on both the par threes, and I was a little bit disappointed with that.
Yeah, Teddy. You know what? I didn't realize.
And the second one, there is no water now.
Yeah, so Teddy was playing pretty well. I didn't realize we get to the 8th hole, and I'm only up 1, and Teddy and I both get a 5 on the last hole, so we're tied. And I just do I do my magic thing. I'm like, Teddy, all you gotta do is knock the ball into the green, and
I
you're
saw
gonna
that.
win.
I saw that on leaderboard.
Yeah, and he immediately knocked the ball into the water.
Yeah, I duffed in the water, so
Yeah.
that's all my dreams were snuffed out immediately.
they were snuffed out. But yeah, I didn't realize. Yeah, he got a couple of pars, a couple of bogeys. Yeah, it was.
Shot a 49.
I played a little better.
way
I
better,
was a little out of sorts the last time. I was in more sorts this time. So.
You were in
I
sorts.
was in sorts.
No, you were in shorts.
shorts and sorts.
He was, man. I was so jelly. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
beautiful
I wore
day.
shorts to the gym today.
Yeah.
I felt good about that.
There you go.
Yeah. All right, so you guys are gonna love this. Last week we had a tip about about a couple's elderly father who shouldn't drive. I think I sent this to you guys. That story about Illinois. They're trying to pass a bill. And I didn't know this. We're the last state, by the way. We're the only state that does this. We're going to pass a bill so that drivers 79 and over don't have to take an actual driving test.
I just saw that.
Because,
It's
discriminatory.
I just saw that. Yeah. So and they showed the committee. They showed whoever like the lawmakers were. They showed like 8 of them. Like,
Yeah, did you see
they're the ones.
What do
who
they
are
have in common,
advocating.
Ted?
I didn't.
They were
I don't
old as
Wait,
shit.
say that we do not make them take a
No,
test?
we're the only state, I guess, that makes them take a
Okay,
test.
okay.
We're the only holdouts for this. And
So that's a good thing.
that they have to take a test?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no other state does it because it's discriminatory.
Yeah, it is discriminatory. It's called age discrimination because you're too
I
old
don't think that's
to
true.
drive.
Michigan, my grandfather was driving till he was 90.
Yeah, but he
92.
Didn't, but he didn't have to take a.
He did. He had to keep going.
Well, maybe they just recently, but from the article what I read, we are the last state to institute and mandate
Well,
that
something good
anyone
about Illinois,
79
right?
and
Something
over.
common sense. Finally, some common sense in
Well,
in
but
government.
they're trying to get rid of it.
Yeah, it looks like it's
Wah,
going to
wah.
pass.
Never
because-
mind.
as well as cash bail. We don't want that either because
That's 'cause-
that's discriminatory too. So
It's
you know.
like what Ted said and what you're saying right now, Matt, because everybody making a law is over 80.
Yeah, we don't want to hurt the criminals'
Yeah.
feelings by keeping
Or
them
if
in
you'd have
jail.
seen the
you know?
pictures, if you'd have seen the pictures of the people, but yeah, so it's weird to say that we're the only sane state in the union.
Yeah.
Now this is what they said, and this was kind of funny. They said that older drivers are only driving a short radius for groceries, doctor visits, and church. They aren't. This is kind of funny. Party hopping, driving in bad weather or at night, or texting and driving.
Yeah, I think they're missing the point. I think the point is it doesn't matter that they have limited exposure in the car. I think the point is because they're elderly and they have limited reflexes, they're more prone to cause like a serious accident, even though they're in the car for a short period of time. I don't think so. Here, I'll put it this way: a young guy in his 20s who's just say maybe had a couple of beers, I'd still trust him more on the road in bad weather than an old guy.
A drunk driver.
Yeah,
You like
I mean a couple of beers, but more than
couple of
okay. Let me
beers,
ask you
so-
this: would you trust Joe Biden to drive you from New York to California?
He's a very good driver.
Would you trust? Would
He's
you
an
trust?
excellent. I heard.
that's all I need
There's
to
someone
know.
who thinks he's an excellent driver, and he always drives during Wapner. Always.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So according to AARP, statistically, older drivers rank among the safest on the road.
Are you a member yet?
I can be.
I can too.
Yeah.
You could be a member
57,
before
yeah.
50.
They
Yeah.
say AARP is a good thing. It's a good
Before
deal.
Before 50, I started getting lit. I got.
But you have to be retired.
No, I got
No,
literature. in the
ARP
mail.
is 50. It's
It's
no,
like AAA. You
an
just
age
sign up.
thing.
Yeah, you just sign up for a
it's
membership.
an age
Yeah.
thing.
Let me just ready. American Association of Retired Persons.
But they're allowing.
I got stuff. I got literature in the mail probably like a couple of years ago. And then
Yeah.
AAA is the same thing. Like they say that's actually like a good service to sign up for because
Yeah, I get the stuff in the mail.
Because not
It's
only does it
amazing.
cover you, your car, it covers like even like your. I think I want to say like your relative's car or so. I mean,
What are
something.
you
Like
talking about?
if
You're talking about
driving-
insurance.
No, we're AAA like roadside assistance. So like say call
we,
some.
we'd have
call
to get Don.
AAA.
We could get
Oh,
Don on the
AAA,
phone.
yeah.
We could get Don on the show. He works for AAA.
Yeah,
I
I'd
believe.
like to hear about that. So
I believe
It's a good
Yeah.
service.
Now this was kind of funny. In the same article, they said that the upcoming week, in Illinois, is Bike Week. So if you have a bike, get out, but only drive at night during bad weather, or if you're party hopping, because if you drive any other time, you'll probably run over by.
Oh, you
an old
said
person.
bike.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Bike Week.
Never
and make
mind.
sure you're not wearing reflective gear whatsoever.
No, just don't be out during the day. Don't go to a church. Don't go to a grocery store. Stay away from where all the old people are.
It's something this month, National Something Month. Did you see that?
It's everything is.
No, the month. It's
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea. Isn't it Women's History Month? No, it's April now.
no.
Is it men's? Is it
April-
finally Men's History?
April shower. It's April showers. Bring me flowers.
All right, so some more updates. Tristan from where else? St. Petersburg, Florida, said he listened to last week's show, and you ready? The next day, he read an article online that a guy got caught masturbating in a theater less than a mile from his house, and here's why he had to tell us. Guess what the movie was? It's out in obviously out in theaters right now. Guess what the movie was?
I don't know.
I thought for sure you'd guess King Kong Godzilla.
Oh, it is.
No, it was not. It was the first Omen, which I think is just a scary horror
Yeah,
movie.
no, remember
The Omen, yeah.
remember the Omen that came out in like 1980?
Well, this is the first Omen, Ted.
Yeah, so this is like a remake.
So a guy was in a theater
Oh, wow.
in St. Petersburg, Florida,
Okay.
masturbating. Okay, wait, hold on. Not even masturbating. Getting caught. Getting caught. Mr. What was your voice?
Are we talking about this again?
But he literally sent me the.
I know, but you're bringing it up, is what I
Yeah.
mean.
Yeah, but I can't believe
But
this.
it seems like a movie that you really want
You
to.
searched for that.
No, but I'm saying it doesn't look like a movie that would arouse you, right? Sexually, it's like because it's like it's like it's like the kid. He's like the mark of the devil. He's got the 666, and something bad's going to happen
I
to
think
everybody.
that's a different movie.
And then they go, woo, woo,
No,
woo.
the Omen is the birth of the kid with the.
Yeah, the six. He's
No,
like
is it?
he's like son of he's like the son of the
Oh,
devil.
I'm thinking Exorcist.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it.
Oh,
yeah.
there's a new Exorcist one too. That one looks scary. It doesn't say
the
it's not.
girls.
It's like
Jesus.
Abigail or something, but that looks scary as shit. So.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I
Ted,
want
you just declared last show that all men that go to the theater
By
alone
themselves.
are masturbators.
I never said that.
Yes,
Yes,
you
you
did.
did.
I
I
listened today to the show, Ted. You did. You absolutely did.
You declared
I might
that.
have strongly implied it, but I didn't actually say it.
You did.
Ted, you implied it by saying it. You said those words.
Well, I mean, technically,
Everyone,
if you just,
said any guy that goes to a theater by himself is masturbating.
And
That's
I-
it.
So what's the guy that goes to a bar by himself doing?
And I don't have my- I don't-
You know what? He's just getting a few drinks before he goes to the theater.
I'm looking this up. I don't have my glasses on, so I might be wrong, but it's National Masturbation Month. No, I'm sorry, National Brunch Month.
National
Same
Brunch Month.
Same thing.
Okay, yeah. All right. Stephanie, a history major at New Mexico State University, said she can assure everyone, including Ted, that Jack the Ripper is dead, whether he was an alien or not. Yeah, because you kind of did make a statement that he might or might not be dead.
Go Aggies.
No, I made a statement. I'm saying even if we find out who he is, I mean, what good's going to come of it? We're
I
going to
believe
know.
you said even if we find out who he was, if he's dead or not. I believe that was
Oh,
your statement.
I misspoke. Obviously, he's long dead.
Well, Stephanie a history major, and she says
Unless
he's-
it's-
I think you said assuming he's dead.
Unless
Yeah,
it's Tupac,
assuming
unless
he's
it's
dead.
Tupac or Elvis, which we know are alive somewhere under assumed names. So,
All right. Roberta from Ottawa, Canada, said she would be excited to produce, and this was her title, The Real Three Idiots Not History Show. Because remember we talked about
Yeah.
the History Channel
Yeah.
just will do anything.
Yeah.
So she'd be more than happy to produce it, and then all we got to do is sell it to the History Channel.
A good show would be for us to fuck something up like we always do. Me, personally, like confuse something.
or just have
Like
revision,
Ted Bundy
just,
with
just,
Ted Kaczynski.
Just have revision,
and then-
revisionist history. That's all.
So a good thing would be for us to do a show where I fuck something up, and then we just talk about it, and then
That's the show.
that's the show. And then the
It's a
next
show about nothing, Ted.
No, it's a show about we're completely wrong, and we just roll with it.
No, or just a what
I believe we're
was there
completely
like
wrong a
was there
lot.
like a drunk history segment on one of
Drunk
those?
History was
where
a
they
show.
Just, yeah,
Oh,
so-
great
it
show.
Still is.
or just like or revisionist
Is it really?
history, like
Yeah.
I didn't know. I have not been able to find it.
Oh, maybe it's
I don't
off.
think.
I
yeah.
thought it was still
Yeah,
on.
so it's really funny. So somebody gets the story, they know the story, but then they get them hammered, drunk,
Have
and
you
then
seen
they
it, Ted?
retell it.
what's that?
Drunk History?
No, I don't think I've seen it.
Oh.
No, it's really funny.
It's very good. Yeah.
Dude, it's so.
It's always
funny.
with a celebrity too,
Yeah.
or a quasi celebrity. Somebody
It's
famous.
usually a celebrity the quasi.
You know why? Because quasi celebrities, when they talk, they're definitely a lot more interesting than regular people. You know, I definitely want to hear what they have to say more than.
and they're more willing to get fucked up.
Oh yeah, dude.
A couple times, I mean,
like,
falling down, like falling asleep.
Yeah,
falling
one
down,
guy.
getting
So one
drunk.
guy I think was on 3 times, and the gag is that they got him so drunk that he fell down every time.
was it David Hasselhoff?
No, he was auditioning for Drunk History when he was doing all that, but never actually got on the show.
Well,
You know what? He was too drunk.
It sounds like they're just taking advantage of somebody with a serious substance abuse problem who probably needs some therapy instead of exploiting their addiction for our personal entertainment.
Ted, I'm looking at you. I'm
Wait,
literally
hold-
doing that to you,
Mark,
Ted.
I just
Yeah.
had an epiphany.
Yeah, Ted, I'm literally
I've been
taking
ex-
your addiction and
I've been
using
exploited
it.
for the last 116 weeks. I didn't even realize it.
That is 100. That is 116% true.
He was talking about me the whole time.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Teddy. I want to be honest and truthful,
Wow.
but I don't really want to be honest and truthful.
Wow,
I'm sorry.
I feel so used.
You should.
You know, remember when our guest last week was talking about the sociopath or psychopath? They said you can't beat him. I said, well, I guess he's right. I just lost.
Yeah, that was 2 weeks ago. But yeah,
Oh, yeah.
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 But yeah, that was. I mean, it's true. You can't. That's why I said I would never have like any kind of like hardcore professional politician
Yeah.
or anybody with like super duper strong opinions like in front of me where I couldn't just nuke them because you can never beat them. You can't beat a crazy person. They're
That's
gonna
our thing. Yeah, can't beat crazy.
You can't beat crazy. They'll just
Crazy always wins.
They'll out crazy you in a heartbeat.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's why I lose to you, Ted. Yeah, not often,
I'm not.
but I do.
I'm not trying to win, but okay.
All right, we'll get this thing rolling. Hey, everybody! Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Who brought the huge bottle of Crown?
That was from what's the last party we had? Oh,
Oh, the March
Madness party.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess Ted did not drink as much as I thought he would.
No,
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
'cause I
I mean,
wanna
it's
live-
only half gone.
because I want to live.
Yeah. What, Ted? I've seen you drink a lot more than that. I like uncomfortably, like where you drink that much, and I'm just like, is Ted gonna? One guy's like, you gonna let Ted drive? I go, I don't even know if he can walk, man. Yeah.
Put a sippy straw in that thing, like a sippy straw lid.
No, you know what we got to get? Like a gerbil thing and hang it from the ceiling and just like,
He could just reach up, manipulate it with his tongue to get liquor out of it.
whoa. Okay, you know what? That would distract me.
I think that's
that
what they
would not
do.
Work. That would
They
not
got to
work.
hit that little ball. They got to push the ball up with their tongue so
Oh
the
yeah, the
water
little
comes
ball.
out.
Yeah, exactly.
What? I have no idea. I don't.
You never had a hamster?
I never had a hamster or any kind of little rat-like animal.
I had a. So there's a gerbil, there's the hamster, and there's the guinea pig. I think my kid had a hamster, like a teddy bear hamster. For their lifespan is only like 2 years.
I thought
If
you could
that-
say
if
2
that.
weeks. I honestly thought you were going to say 2 weeks. It's easy. 2 weeks. They're gone.
Actually, I just read this. There's actually a moth that's born without a mouse, so it can't eat, so it only lives for a week. And it's called a Luna moth, not a lunar moth. A Luna moth. It's green. If you want to Google it.
Those are like cicadas. They
And
don't
yeah,
eat.
but it's green. It's a moth, but it's green. It's pretty, and it only lives for a week. And its only purpose on Earth is just to mate. So that's it.
How has that been? Come on.
Google it. I just found out myself. So I think a monarch butterfly lives for only 2 weeks.
Wait, are you
No,
saying?
they live longer.
Are
They
you
fly.
saying
They
a lunar?
No, Luna moth.
A
they
Luna
migrate.
moth.
They
Yeah.
migrate from here to Mexico. Monarch.
Lifespan 1 week. Why do I question Ted? Damn it!
Sparrows only live like less than a year.
I'm not.
Common sparrow, yeah.
I'm not going to look it up because I can't be wrong this many times. You know what the gag is? The gag is every time Ted says something like that and I don't believe it, it turns out to be true.
This show's lived for about a year and a half so far. So I mean, and we don't.
2 years, Ted. Over 2 years.
And we haven't bathed the entire time, which I'm so shocked.
oh my God, I don't want to even think about that.
Bathing? Ted
No,
bathing
yeah.
specifically, yeah.
Bathing, not taking a shower, bathing. Yeah, I could.
Who
how would you like to
bathes?
walk in on Ted? He's just got a
bathes?
brush and he's just doing his back
So
and he's
when
sitting
you
in a
bathe,
tub of his
there
own filth.
Yeah. So is there a loofah and there's that big back screen of the
Yeah.
big back with the brush?
That's what I picture you doing. That's what I picture you doing.
Would you be wearing a shower cap so you don't because you're not washing your hair that day?
I enjoy a good soak.
Yeah.
And you have a gla-
Do you really?
You have a glass of wine.
Do you bathe? When's the last time you took a bath? Honestly.
A long time ago. But we have
won't-
like
I will
some
not
Epsom
respond.
some Epsom salts,
Yeah,
good for,
I
like,
probably
sports
have Epsom
injuries,
salts
yeah.
all over the place. I haven't
soak
taken
in a tub.
I haven't
yeah.
taken a bath in
Eucalyptus, like
30 years.
salts or whatever.
30 years. Ted?
A couple bath bombs.
I-
Boom.
Honestly, I think I was in a bathtub when I was like 6 years old because I had measles. So like my mom put me in a bathtub with
Oh,
like
I remember
this
that, yeah, yeah.
stuff.
Pushed your
You put
head
the stuff-
underwater?
No, you put the stuff in there, and it's supposed to help with the measles because I had like full blown measles. I think that was the last time I was like in a bathtub. So,
I'm unfamiliar with this.
yeah. Chicken pox. So
Yeah,
chicken
chicken
pox. Yeah. So there was like a formula. It was like a powder, and you would
Just
actually
salt.
put it in the water. Yeah, and you'd have to soak your whole body in it. So that was the
Just
reason I was
eases
taking a
the
bath.
scratching, the
Yeah.
sensitivity, yeah.
Yeah.
I know nothing about this.
I remember that.
Doesn't measles become shingles like because it's the same virus like in later life? The measles.
Yeah, I think if you don't get or you do get or
Shingles.
something happens.
Yeah.
something
Well,
happens.
something's always going to happen to somebody somewhere, no matter what. So.
All right, can we get this thing rolling here?
Oh, we just started. Okay.
All right. Hey, everybody. This is the Real 3 Idiots podcast brought to you by Reed's Real Ginger Ale and Reed's Cream Soda. Treat yourself to better. And happy National, this is my favorite holiday of all time, Report IRS Tax Fraud Day. This particular holiday encourages employees to rat out their companies cheating on their taxes. It was started in 2004 by the IRS.
Really?
Yes, and you actually, for everyone who like hates their boss and knows that they're cheating on their taxes, and you're listening to this, there's a reward for turning someone in. If it's big time money, you will actually get a big time reward.
So it's like a whistleblower's reward.
Yep, for ratting out your company.
But here's a question. It's kind of like a de facto standard. How would you know that your company is cheating on their taxes if you're just a worker bee.
Robert, come in here. Can you erase that 1 and put a 0 in there, sir?
Robert, I want you to burn this spreadsheet and erase this hard drive.
Well, it's usually somebody in accounting or HR that notices something's
Right.
afoul.
So then they bring it up.
Some irregularity.
They
They're
bring
like,
it up, and the
uh-oh.
boss goes, "You know what, Robert? If I were you, I would just move on to my next task." And Robert's going to go, "Well, you know what? Today's April 10th, so you're screwed, my friend."
They just some paralegal who worked for a law firm. I want to say it's in Chicago. She just got busted for like misappropriating $700,000 of the firm's money for obviously to pay her mortgage and buy a car for herself and a lot of casino trips, and it's
Well,
just
that's like the mayor of Dalton, right? I mean,
innocent until proven guilty. Well, Larry Lightfoot will get to the bottom of it after about $50,000 of billable hours. She'll get to the bottom of it.
yeah. So
Why, what
At
is
four-
she doing now?
She's a special investigator at $400 an hour who's been tasked to investigate the alleged wrongdoings of the mayor of Dalton. Alleged wrongdoings. So I'm sure she'll
Pretty awesome, though.
So I'm sure she'll slow walk that investigation for about 6 months at the Chicago taxpayers' expense, and then come out with her
well,
findings.
Dalton.
Yeah.
I believe Dalton, who's already lost all that money. I mean, the mayor allegedly started a charity and then
Yeah.
made people donate.
Yeah.
Or they wouldn't get a business license. She made them buy the insurance from her friend, or they wouldn't get a business license. I mean,
Exactly like Niles.
The
what
mayor's
happened.
Exactly.
the mayor's sister would be proud.
yeah, yeah. I mean, so I guess she did a lot of stuff. I guess she was like
She's only been there like a year. She's
harassing.
been like a year.
Yeah,
I don't think it's been a
basically,
year yet.
yeah, all this stuff has been done in less than a year. I guess she was sexually harassing people, actually harassing people. Yeah, she had her own little fiefdom. It was really cool.
Did she get together with the sheriff of Indiana who was selling the company cars? They should get together as a power couple. So.
Well, you know what? I mean, there's so many things. If you go in there with a plan, I mean, you can have a great plan. If you just take some of the things that everybody's done and don't go crazy. I think her biggest problem was she went for the full boat. She went for the full Monty within 6 months.
Yeah.
She was already like strong arming people and doing all that stuff. It's something you got to work. You got to work slowly for. If you look at these
This
people,
after like 20. I mean, I can see usually. I want to say politicians would do that. Usually it's like they're in that position for decades. Like Mike Madigan, to nobody's surprise, who was a Speaker of the House in Illinois for 50+ years. Well, no shit, he's being investigated for corruption. Yeah. We could have set our watch by that one, right? We could
right. But I mean, you look at some of the mayors of different small Chicago or Chicago suburb towns. Yeah. Yeah, they've done it, but it took several years, right? Yeah. You build up the trust, you get people to not look at you. But I guess she was coming out,
she came
decked
out hot.
out.
She came out the gate hot.
Dude, she was decked out in like $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 outfits, and I guess she went around and was bragging about how everybody was buying the insurance and everybody was donating and then she kind of threatened people like, this is what will happen if you don't. So I mean,
well, the funny
just
thing,
kind of stupid.
So the funny thing about I'm not familiar with the tax structure in Dalton, but there's a lot of towns outside Chicago where the property taxes are triple that of Cook County, and you got to wonder, it's like a small a small house. I'm not going to name the suburb. A small house the property tax would be $9,000 a year versus a house in say Chicago, on the west or south side where the property tax is $2,000 a year. Where does that extra $7,000 go? I mean, because the school district
right
is
to
not
the
any
mayor
better.
of Dalton.
Oh, it goes to the mayor of Dalton.
Right,
Yes.
It goes right to her brand new car.
Now it goes to her defense fund.
Yeah, you know what? That's funny. She stole all that money and she's got to pay for her defense. I mean, how do they get any of this money back? Right? I mean, if it's just clothes and shit and all this stuff,
they're going to freeze her assets. They're going to freeze her bank accounts.
Yeah,
they're going to
but-
auction off the shit she's got, and then who knows what she squirreled away or sent overseas or secret bank account it's in. But yeah,
you know what? I'm guessing somebody that went that crazy that fast probably doesn't know like Swedish banking rules.
No, it's all
and-
gone.
and
I mean, she
Aruba.
did
Yeah.
what she did, and she's done.
She's probably just selling it. I mean, yeah.
she'll get 8 months suspended sentence. Don't worry. At the end of the day, just because it's a first offense.
First offense. It'd be the best if it was like the mayor of D.C., where after all this was done,
Marion Barry.
she went maybe she goes to prison for 6 months, pays everything back, gets out, and gets reelected as mayor. That would be.
Well, then happened to Marion Barry. They caught him on camera smoking crack, and he got reelected as the mayor of D.C. So
That was. I still every time I think about that, it drives me nuts. All right, let's see. It's time for Ted's Tips. Ted's Tips does not advocate lying, cheating, stealing, or the burning down of someone's home unless absolutely necessary. I have to do disclaimers. Everything's a goddamn disclaimer. All right, Mark. Sing us away.
You ready? Yeah. Some friends of mine just the other night went to hear this fool Ted tip. They said he tipped so good that the roof fell in, and he didn't even stop the show. They don't remember the place, but they remember Ted's face, and now everybody want to go. Tip Teddy golfs. Tip Teddy swings a lot. Teddy's got the crown. Tip Teddy, he's the king.
That was edgy.
I got a second verse.
That was edgy.
Do it.
All right. Yeah. Teddy on a pocket show. Famous people on there with him. Teddy likes to drink at 5. Teddy on the radio, but definitely not the video. The baddest Ted alive. Driving all the listeners crazy. All they want is Teddy Betty. Love it because loves the tries. Tip Teddy cooks. Tip Teddy sings. Tip Teddy's look. Tip Teddy, he's the king.
Wow. That was sultry.
Second verse a little bit stumbly.
No, I like that. Oh, man. Top Jimmy is one of my favorite songs,
Top
man.
Jimmy.
He's the king.
Van Halen.
Oh, man. I absolutely love that. All right. Ted, we need your help. Our 7-year-old son is going to play baseball this year, and he wants to play with his friend. How does that even seem like a problem? Doesn't that seem like the perfect scenario?
That's how we always
Two little
did it.
fellas
Yeah, everybody
playing
got-
baseball, right?
Yeah.
The problem is his friend's father coaches the team, and he's way too into it. He screams and yells at the kids and the umpires. We've had him and his wife over several times, and they are totally normal. The problem is they act like lunatics at the games. How do we keep our son from playing with his friend without alienating our friends? And this was the part that I thought made it tough, making our son upset. Kelly and I think this is Derode? Derode?
Oh, I know D-Road.
It's like Derrod.
Yeah.
Yeah, Derrod or something.
Yeah. Chicago, Illinois.
Isn't he the father of Superman? Oh, it's Gerard.
Oh, and one more thing.
Jarl or something.
We ordered the Motley Crue hot sauces. Oh, man. They had Van Halen ones. We ordered the Motley Crue hot sauces, and they are great. Love the show. Yeah. All right, Teddy. This is okay. First of all, no one, I'm just going to say this now. At no point will any animals be harmed during this tip.
Well, unfortunately, I never had the opportunity to play baseball when I was a kid, and therefore that's why I was never a good softball player.
But
anyway.
you were molested by
by elves.
By a baseball coach.
Yeah, no. Who's the baseball? Lou Gehrig, right? Didn't you meet Lou Gehrig or something?
No, I meant Joe DiMaggio.
Joe DiMaggio.
He was Mr. Coffee at the time. I don't think he could have done
You
anything.
shook his hand left-handed.
Yes.
And he called you a pussy. Sorry, go ahead.
He asked for my autograph. No. Yeah. So anyway, here's the deal. Hopefully, your kid's the best player ever on the team, because then he's going to be exempt from all coaches yelling and scrutiny. But let's assume he's just an average player. Here's what I would do. I mean, I would let the kid play on the team with his friend, because that's the key. Because it was like, if his friend wasn't on the team, I would just say maybe just sign him up for a different league somewhere else that's like near your home to keep away from this coach. But still, there's no guarantee that the coach of the other competing baseball team wouldn't just be just as enthusiastic as this coach. So I would maybe just sit your kid down, and this could be a good life lesson. Just say, hey, you know what, this is going to be a tough coach. He might say some things to you that upset you, but you're going to tough it out. And maybe like just do a little example of like a coach getting heated to kind of prepare the kid for what's to come.
Start
Like a
screaming
driver.
at the kid.
Yeah, just
so
say
he
here's
knows.
what I'm going to do. Like here's what I'm not. I don't mean it, but this is what you might expect, and then just say, don't take it personal, and then just like raise your voice at the kid. Like say he messes up a play, which he eventually will, and just kind of prep him for it.
Could I just an example? So
Yeah.
Kelly and Derode could just do it. Okay, so Derode or Kelly, either one of you, just sit your son down, right, and then have him throw a ball, and just have him throw a ball, and when he's done, you just tell him that he's a useless piece of shit, and that if that's the way he's going to throw, he's going to be a loser his entire goddamn life. Would something like that work?
With all due respect, yes.
Yeah, Teddy, how is a little kid going to it's not like he's an adult. He's not going to understand the difference between a pretend and a real. And if this guy's doing this the whole time, I mean, the kid's going to get I think he's going to get a little upset.
Yeah, well, like I said, I mean, so the problem is, he wants to play with his friend, and obviously it's a package deal. So the friend and the friend's dad are a package deal. That's the problem. So you could do two things. You could put the kid on the team, for just say like a couple of months, and then obviously you're going to get feedback from the kid. So let's just say maybe he's mentally tougher than you think. Because some kids, I remember when I was 7. I mean, some kids can handle adverse behavior against them better than others. So you won't know until he's there. So put him on the team. If the kid comes home and he's seems like his behavior's changed or he's a basket case now because the coach has raised his voice at him, then just take him off the team and maybe put him on a competing team. But at least you could say, hey, I tried to have him play with my friend, but unfortunately it's a little bit of a hostile environment. Like I played in I know you think this is funny. For like one season I played in football in a park league when I was like, I don't know, maybe 13 or 14, and we had a coach, and he yelled at everybody. I mean, he was yelling at me. He yells at he's yelling at the other players. I was in the military. I got yelled at all the time. Shit, I get yelled at every day. I
yell at you sometimes.
Tough it up.
all the time.
Put on your big boy
I
pants.
have a reason to yell at Ted.
Kid,
because I'm mad.
Kid, put on your big boy pants.
But you're telling it's a 7-year-old.
No, it's a good.
Put on your older kid pants.
No, I think that's good advice. I mean, that's his choice. He wants to be on that team.
Yeah.
Let him figure out whether or not maybe next year.
Yeah, just here's what to expect. You're going to have a coach who's going to be maybe a little hostile and aggressive, but it's not personal. He's just trying to have the team win. So try not to take it personal.
7-year-old
I know.
doesn't understand.
Don't set him up. Just put him on the team.
Yeah, but then let's just see how the kid reacts. And like I said, maybe he's better under adversity than anything. Some kids play sports better under adversity than others, just like some kids handle pressure better than others, including adults. So put him on the team. Put him in for like a few weeks, a couple of months, and just see the kid's behavior. Keep monitoring him. I'm sure you're going to go to his games and be there too. And you could talk. You're going to be constantly talking to him. So yeah, it's not like worst case scenario. If the kid gets yelled at, is that really going to be the worst thing in the world? And you're not going to have him endure it for like months and months. So because you figure if the coach is yelling at the kid, he's kind of yelling at the team collectively. He's not really going to yell at the kid per se, unless. And what if the kid's a really good baseball player?
I've seen coaches do that.
Yeah.
Yell at individuals.
And honestly, if he's not good enough to play, he'll probably be benched, and the coach will never say a word to him.
The coach never yells at me. It's because you suck, son.
Because you don't play.
Yeah.
You don't have any playing time.
I don't know, man. I don't like that concept of I don't like that concept of coaches doing that and going in ahead of time knowing that this guy is going to yell and scream and just be a jag-off.
Yeah.
That's,
if it was me and I wanted my kid to play, I would kind of look at it as like a challenge. I would sit my kid down. Yeah, I know he's 6 or 7, but just say, hey, this is what might happen. If you could just be prepared for it. I mean, I can give you a little practice, as an adult, raising my voice to you, just so you see how you handle it. So I'm serious.
It just seems like a freebie to call your kid a dick. So
but when they're 6 or 7, it's coach pitch. 6-year-olds, it's coach pitch.
So the coach. I got it. I got it.
It's not T-ball. Right. It's the first league above T-ball.
So when
right.
the coach throws a bad pitch, the kid after a couple weeks when he throws on his bat or he takes his bat out to the mound and he just whacks the coach with the bat. Yeah. And he goes, you know who sucks here? You do, old man.
Or actually,
you do.
Or just hit a liner right up the middle and give him some chin music, and then it'll gain his respect, right?
So what are you telling them to do?
No, I'm saying join the team.
Yeah.
See how it goes. And like I said, the worst thing that happens is the kid's feelings get hurt. He's not going to be traumatized for life. I mean, there's worse things in the world. I mean, if this is the worst thing this kid's ever going to face in his life, trust me, he'll be okay.
So did you read? So we talked about Ted Kaczynski, right? A couple like a month ago.
We got him confused. I did.
Yeah, but I read his autobiography.
Yeah.
And he was yelled at as a child in T-ball, and he believes that started.
Is it going to be? Was the coach the same guy who's going to be coaching this kid?
You know what? I mean,
I think Ted's right. And if it's a real issue, if they really feel strongly about it, then the dad steps up and coaches a team. Because if you coach a team, your son's automatically on your team.
Right.
There's no coaches that their son's playing on another fucking
team.
Yeah,
you guys have more experience with this than me. So I'm just saying, like when your kids played, say, travel sports, I'm sure you've seen some hard coaches. But you were at those games.
Yeah.
You could see clearly what's
I
going on.
coached against them. There's at least 5 coaches that would never have my kid play.
And I'm sure if your kid was in an uncomfortable position, you as a parent, you wouldn't even have to wait for your kid to say something. You would take their kid either out of that situation, right? I mean, you guys.
Yeah, but you don't want it to be a situation where he doesn't get to play because the dad's an asshole.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's possible, we don't know how good the kid is. I mean, honestly, I hate to say it, but in sports, the better the player is, he's probably going to get more preferential treatment. I mean, if he's like the best player on the team or one of the best, he's probably going to have
7, Ted.
Yeah, he's probably going to get cut a lot more slack than somebody who say is not as good, right? Because usually the coaches, have their ire is addressed to the kids who probably aren't as talented, right?
Ted,
like catch the ball.
Ted's tip.
Throw the ball.
Ted's tip is let him play in the team.
Hit the ball. You see this ball, kid? Hit it with the bat.
Ted would be the worst.
He's going out of his mind right now.
He'd be the worst worst coach of all time. Could you see Ted as any kind of coach?
Let me draw you this Venn diagram, kid. Okay, it's not that complicated. Look, here's a ball.
Look,
here's a bat.
Look, here's
Draw
a
a
video.
diagram.
Here's a video of George Brett and Bryce Harper hitting. Just fucking do that.
Barry Bonds. Okay, just choke up on the bat.
And
crowd
take
the
some
plate.
steroids.
Crowd the plate.
It'd be worse than Buttermaker.
Oh my God, that
Was
would
that
be
from Bad News Bears?
yes. That,
Oh yeah,
be
actually,
so
have the
bad.
kid watch Bad News Bears. They should watch the one with Billy Bob Thornton.
He's 7. That is not a 7-year-old's movie.
I watched that when I was 7.
I've seen worse movies than that when I was 7.
Me too.
Yeah, that's not the worst
we're
movie
not-
in the world.
I don't even want to think about what you've seen that was worse. And I know what you have seen, and I don't want to hear it. All right. Tell me if you guys believe this. I read it. I did not believe it. You guys tell me. According to scientists, when you trim a plant, it screams.
No, I didn't know that. I had no concept of that.
I'm not a believer.
You're not a believer of that?
I said believer.
I don't understand what
Justin
that means.
Bieber.
A believer is a Justin Bieber fan. You know, like
What the fuck
Swift.
does that have to
like-
do with anything?
He said believe. I said believe. I'm just joking.
Yeah. Okay, but do you believe? Scientists have done studies. I have it right here.
Who hears it?
Okay, so
Why are our tax dollars being going toward these studies? Is my
Hold
first
on,
question.
Hold on. Human ears cannot hear the scream, but scientists came up with a machine that can pick the sound up.
It makes sense. It's a living thing, right?
It's a living organism.
They have feelings too. Fish don't have any feelings.
Flora and fauna, right? So fauna is the animal and flora
Wait
is
a
the
minute.
animals.
You're telling me
Plants are the
a
plants.
sunflower plant has feelings,
Well,
but a fish
a
doesn't.
Venus flytrap. I mean, you ever see those? They eat. They actually open up and they're
They
carnivorous.
have no feelings. They're carnivores. They're
hungry.
They don't care.
They're
Ted.
hungry.
Yeah.
Does the fly scream when he eats it?
Yeah, everything screams. But yeah, so the first thing I thought of is that the scientists came up with a machine, right? That can can hear plants
a
screaming.
machine.
And I literally thought, when you're on your deathbed, right, and people are walking in, does anyone walk up to you and say, "You fucking wasted your life. You completely wasted your life. You came up with a machine." Because I still don't understand the machine. Because somebody said that they couldn't, that they saw the machine, but
Has anyone
how do
seen-
you come up with a machine that hears plants screaming?
I came up with a machine that hears doves cry.
Yeah. So
Ask
now,
Prince.
here was one of the things, because this is a study. One of the scientists asked, he said, "How would a plant make a sound? They don't have any vocal
Yeah.
cords. So how exactly would a plant make the sound?" Yeah.
Is the chlorophyll moving rapidly in the stem? It creates like a cricket. Like when the crickets rub their legs together, it goes. Chirp, chirp,
He
chirp,
got
chirp.
me. I don't know. I mean,
Right.
Because the crickets, they don't
Right.
make.
it was on the internet, so we know it's true.
I mean, it was a
But
funded.
crickets don't. They don't talk. They make when they rub their legs together. They make that chirp chirp sound, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
What do you mean they don't talk?
They
I
don't have
talk
any-
to my crickets all the time.
Oh my god. But yeah, so I'm just thinking, like, what kind of time are you spending giving a shit about this? Like, how does this change the world in any way for the better or even the worse?
Do you think there's landscapers right now that are just quitting their job, finding this out? The guys that trim all the bushes and shit like that? Arborists are just quitting.
Wait, but if you mow, I just mowed the lawn today. I literally mowed the lawn this morning before I went to work.
Grass is a plant, right?
Holy crap. You know what? And I thought that was just my brain screaming at me. I had no idea. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just really weird that it would come up with this.
Honestly, there's a lot of government funded studies for a lot of obscure stuff, and that just happens to be one of the ones that's been.
How do you know
published
it's a
lately.
government's
I mean, what else could it be? Where would the grant come from? It's a grant. Someone gave
could
a
be a
grant.
university?
It's possible, but someone gave a grant.
I would guess.
to these scientists.
What do you create? You're
No, I
making
would-
this up now. Not every study is a grant that the government gives a scientist.
Yeah.
Or a stipend. I mean,
You're
it has to
just
come from
assuming.
somewhere.
It's a-
Ted, I would imagine this came from a meat company so that they can tell you that not
Probably.
to eat plants.
Yeah,
and to eat
lobbyists.
meat.
Yeah,
because everyone
private
knows.
entities
yeah.
fund these shit.
And you guys know that like cows and pigs, they don't actually kill the cows and pigs. The cows and pigs kill themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
They die by suicide.
They die by suicide, so that you don't have to have that person killing them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they just all kill themselves. They run right into that little that head knocker thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh, that bolt. Is
Yeah.
that the bolt the guy used in No Country for Old Men? That
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
that with the
Yeah. Do you think they probably still do that, right?
I don't know.
I don't know how
Could
they
you?
do it.
Okay, let's just say they do that, and a guy walks up and it probably hangs from the ceiling and
Yeah.
poof. Could you do that all day? Could you?
They don't do that to pigs. I know that.
No, I think they cut their throats. I know that the kosher stuff they do.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
could you, if that was your job, could you kill 500, 1,000 cows a day by bolting it in the head?
Well, somebody's doing it. Obviously,
Right, but could you do it?
probably not. No, that would be too. Yeah, that'd be too depressing. You know, I like animals.
I mean, I don't think I could.
I don't even want to look it up.
I don't want to. I don't want to look it up.
I eat a
but-
lot of beef,
but,
so.
but it's got to happen, right? It's got to happen.
Yeah, I mean,
and somebody's
obviously-
got to supervise.
Obviously,
it.
those animals are not dying of natural causes. You know?
They're not right. For everyone at home, they're not committing suicide.
Yeah.
But I
So they
couldn't
go.
do
So
it.
they call it. They go to slaughter.
Right.
All
But
right.
I could not. Oh yeah, you're gonna look it up. Oh my God, this is so terrifying. You don't want this, man. You do not want.
Why
this.
did you look it up?
Nope. I don't want it.
So I know, like, I think the last few people who got executed by firing squad in the United States, you know, they pin the little target on your, you know, on the guy the guy who's going to be condemned's chest. Then there's like 3 or 4 guys with guns, and I think 2 of them have blanks and 2 of them have live rounds, so they don't know who actually killed the prisoner. You know, and I think that
But you're standing up there. You're doing it because you want to do this.
Oh, yeah.
If you're not into killing people, you're not standing
Yeah.
there. You know those guys
Yeah.
are just like, the 4 of them are standing there. One of them's going, "Hey man, I hope I got the real bullet. Like I have a bloodlust right now." Yeah.
So I guess there's a method. It's called exsanguation.
Exsanguation. That's
They stun 'em?
strangling.
Well,
I thought exsanguation. or
yeah.
whatever it is,
Okay, so they stun them and then they slit their necks.
slit their throats. Yeah.
Yeah. Slit their throats. Yeah.
I couldn't be the guy who stuns.
So-
I couldn't be the guy who watches animals die all day.
when I was a
that
kid,
would mess my
when
brain
I was a
up.
kid, I wasn't expecting this. My grandmother took me to like a Jewish butcher shop, and she bought a live duck. And they took the duck like right in front of us, and they slit its throat right in front of us, and then just put it upside down in like some type of cylindrical, container, and just let it bled out. And then they just cut it up and packaged it, and out we went.
I have
And
I have
that
a,
explains everything.
I have a funny story about this. So when I was a kid, I was probably 3 or 4 years old. One Easter, one of my aunts gave us like 10 baby ducklings. They turned out to be geese. So we had them.
Wait, aren't those ducks and geese aren't the same? Are they?
No, geese are big fucking. These are
you see
these
the-
big
oh,
white
you see on the
geese.
golf course,
So
yeah.
she gave you those things thinking they were
Well,
ducks.
they look
and
like
were
they're
geese.
ducks. They all look the same when they're babies. I mean, swans, ducks, geese. They all
I
look
think that's animalist.
okay.
Okay.
So they thought they were ducklings. They turned out to be geese. So as they were getting older, they're getting bigger and bigger. So being of Polish heritage, what happens when they got full grown is the butcher came over from the grocery store and chopped their heads off, and they made chinina out of them.
And you would-
Chinina is like blood soup.
Oh,
like
really? I
you use-
didn't know that.
yeah, goose
Okay.
blood soup. Yeah.
Wow.
and you ate that?
I don't think I ate it. No.
Did you
But
watch
I-
them kill him?
Well, my mom didn't really know what was happening, and Mel, I think his name was Mel. That's funny, right? Mel the butcher.
Mel the butcher.
Yeah. Man, I really think his name was Mel. Now that I think about it, he came over, and he grabbed one, and then, boom! And my mom was like, "Oh my god!" And she took me and my brother,
Yeah.
and my dad was like, "What do you think he was gonna do?"
I think there's a place. There's a
What
place.
do you
What's he
think was gonna
he's gonna
happen?
hug it to death.
He's got like
He's just gonna give it
there's-
some good hugs.
There's a place in Glenview. I think they sell and I never stepped foot in there, but it's pretty big. I think they sell and slaughter live poultry there. So if you want to get like a chicken, like a fresh chicken,
there's a bunch of places in the city that do
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, what we know. I know people that grow chickens. Weren't you saying that you had neighbors that
Raised chickens.
raise chickens in the city?
Yeah, yeah. You can have up to a certain amount. There's a coop. Yeah, two doors down from us, they had chickens.
Oh man, that's weird.
Are
All
they
right,
raising them for eggs or just like for
eggs.
slaughter?
No, they're
oh, just
for
for
eggs,
eggs.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
all right. Are you ready for technology you did not know existed?
Sure.
All right, are you ready? Reverse microwave. So this is, I don't understand. I don't understand any of it. So if there's somebody out there that knows how to do things, but allegedly, according to this article I read, no electricity, reverse microwave that can freeze things as fast as you can heat them up. So you
Yeah.
can just flash freeze it with no electricity whatsoever.
So you have to
Reverse
understand what a microwave is.
Does it use microwaves? I don't know. I have no idea what a
And then you
microwave
can
is.
manipulate.
It's got no electricity. I don't understand this. It didn't make any sense to me at all. But it exists. A non-electric reverse microwave.
Does it look like a microwave? Is it for commercial sale or is it just? I've never
I
heard
don't
of
know.
it. Yeah.
It looked like a box. It
Well,
looked like a
microwave doesn't need to be plugged in to work technically. The microwave. Well, you're using microwave as a term of like what we have above our ovens or whatever, like a microwave oven, we call it, right?
Right.
So a microwave in existence, right, isn't something that requires us to plug into electricity in order for it to.
Are you drunk right now, or
No.
are you Ted? A microwave doesn't work unless it's plugged in.
You're talking about a microwave oven.
Right.
He's talking
But
about
a
the
microwave is
waves,
an actual
the microwave
thing.
waves, the waves themselves.
Oh yeah, no, I'm talking about a thing that will freeze something in the time it takes to
But
cook something.
You're using
with no
microwave
electricity.
in a generic term like Kleenex as tissue. Like microwave is a type of oven. The microwave is
Oh, you're way past my ability to fathom.
well,
this.
so am I right now. I'm talking out of my ass. But there is. Okay, hang on. If you look up microwave, it's going to show just about microwave. What is this? This is science, right, Ted?
Yeah, reverse microwave.
So microwaves are a portion or band found at the higher frequency end of the radio spectrum. This is a definition I'm looking up online.
wait, so they just shoot microwaves at our food?
Okay, different different wavelengths of microwaves grouped into subbands provide different information to scientists. So I guess they harness that into a source of energy, and you could either heat it, or you could either create cold or heat, right?
Dude, welcome to Science Talk.
Yeah.
Welcome to Science Talk with guys who don't know anything about
It's
science.
electromagnetic relation.
Right.
But it's like
Okay,
yeah,
but I want you to get this part. There ain't no electricity. Somehow these assholes have come up with a reverse microwave that doesn't use electricity.
And it freezes. So if you put something in, it just freezes it solid.
Freezes it solid.
Yeah. So you ever been in the Museum of Science and Industry when you were a kid? So they had like the nitrogen, and so they would put a rubber ball in the nitrogen,
Yeah.
and in a second it would be frozen, and then it would take a hammer and just break it. It would just be frozen solid within like a second.
That would be bad for food, Ted. If
like
you just
like
broke it.
liquid nitrogen.
Yeah,
So-
that'd be. I mean, I just don't understand the concept. I don't understand how it worked. So here's what I
it's
want.
a type of light.
I want to know.
It's a type of light.
We're gonna have a scientist on, and he's gonna explain all the things that I don't get.
Neil Tyson deGrasse? Oh, not him. He doesn't.
Neil deGrasse Tyson, yeah.
Tyson,
Well, he's not a scientist. He's a
He's a physicist, I believe.
no. It's not what he.
I thought he was a physicist.
Astronomer?
No.
He's an astrologer, Ted. An astrologer. Yeah, it's completely different.
Like not neuroscience.
I have no idea, man. You know what? Let's get off science.
Yes.
Let's get to something that makes sense. All right. So we live in Chicago, in the state of Illinois, and you guys know this, but maybe a lot of people listening don't know this.
Astrophysicist.
That's what I said.
Is that what you said?
Yeah, he says he's a physicist.
Okay.
Yeah. So in Chicago and the area right around Chicago, in about 20 miles, there's about 9 million people that live in this area, like within 20 miles of the city, right?
Yeah, there's like 3 million in the city proper, and then
I think it's 5 million now.
is it okay?
5 million in the city proper.
crazy.
I think
and
your
then
dog's
about-
dying upstairs. I hear something going
No,
on.
Cheryl's home. So about another 4 million surround it.
Mm-hmm.
In the whole rest of our state, which is very rural, we're very urban, which is very rural, is just slightly more than half. There's about another 5 or 7 million people that live in the rest of Illinois.
Yeah, it's pretty
okay?
crazy.
Yeah, and they don't particularly like the fact that every time we vote, every time we do anything, Chicago takes over.
Mm-hmm.
So a bunch of cities down south in southern Illinois are putting on the ballot this. They're trying to get on the ballot this November to become a separate state.
From Chicago.
Fine. Then
Chicago.
pay your share of the fucking taxes. Because we consume 80% of the taxes in the state, too. That's why they don't pay dick in taxes. We pay it all.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
But there is a
That's why in
movement.
Southern Illinois, your homeowner, your taxes are like fucking $800 a year. And we're paying $15,000 a
Wow,
year.
sign me up for that.
Yeah. I have no idea, but there is an actual movement now, and because I was thinking about the
It's
Oregon.
called ignorance. It's called ignorance. They don't know how things work.
Well, I mean, but their values, they say their core values in Chicago don't represent where they are.
This is nothing new, right? This is what you and I talked about a lot, about how we're just going in circles here as a nation. Right? Now you can carry a gun. Most states don't even require a license anymore. Drugs are legal now. I mean, it's just going on and on and on and on. We're just going backwards. These are things we learned.
Well, they're
Hey,
talk-
maybe this isn't good. Maybe we should do this. Maybe we should make a law for this. Maybe this should be this. We're going back on all this. And now we all became states for a reason, right? Started around the 1800s when everybody started becoming states, like westward movement. right? And now they want to leave
I
and
guess.
create another state.
I
Do
mean-
they know how much work that is? Do they know how stupid that is? Texas tried it. Texas always wanted to be separate.
I advocate Texas being completely
No,
separate.
they can't. They
No,
wouldn't-
I
they
would.
wouldn't function.
Listen, I've been to Texas. It would not be that big of a loss.
Well, they were. They had their own president.
and
at
if
one
Kentucky,
time.
if
They-
Kentucky would like to become as their own separate country, they're more than welcome to, as far as I'm
they
concerned.
wouldn't
Well,
last.
isn't that what started the Civil War? Because I think with one of the Carolinas, like Jefferson,
slavery started
Jefferson Davis was the president of the South, and Abraham Lincoln was, and they were like, "Yeah, this isn't going to work."
Our core values are not
someone's
the
got to
same
go.
as your
Someone's
core
got
values.
to go.
I don't know, man. Listen, it's going to go on the ballot. I don't know where it could go from there,
Oh,
but
it's fine. You can
but-
put anything you want on the ballot.
Didn't we have a guest?
right, but I mean,
Didn't we have a guest a long time ago from Oregon who wanted to secede
Same
from
thing, yeah.
from he wanted Oregon
well, they
to
want to
secede
move
from
they want to move to Idaho.
Idaho,
They're
yeah.
part of Oregon to move
But
to
these
Idaho.
people want to create a new state within the
a
state.
new state within the state.
Okay.
I mean, but here's the thing.
Like
I mean,
Hazard
what-
County, like you drive, the speed limit is 20 miles an hour. Their only revenue is going to be people driving in and out of their state.
speed traps.
Well,
Yeah.
they're very so it's very the counties down there are very, very small. I mean, the cities are very, very small.
Counties are big.
Well, the counties are big,
Yeah,
but
the
the
cities
cities
are
and the amount of people
Are minimal.
again
Yeah,
very,
like you
very
said,
small
yep,
because more than I mean it's almost 2-1, like just Chicago
Oh,
area.
it's not even close. Yeah, there's
No,
nobody.
no. It's about 9 million, and then the rest of the state has about, as you get down there, probably about 5 to
But
7
we're a
million.
big state.
Well,
We're a big state.
Well, look
Very
at the town.
large.
When we played golf in Cinder Ridge, that's in Wilmington, Illinois. Look how small that town is. Not just extrapolate that to like how many small towns in Illinois, even Decatur. You know, I mean, I've been to Decatur, and no offense to Decatur, but that felt like more deep south than when I was in like the deep south. You know, to be
Well, yeah,
honest with
once you get about, I don't know, about 50, 80 miles from Chicago,
Yeah.
it's
It's different-
very
it's
rural.
a different
So
world.
it's one of those
very
things.
rural.
In my opinion, it's one of those things. Like, be careful what you wish for, because you need to really look into what benefits you gain by living in Illinois versus what benefits will go away when you become your own state.
Oh, but man, if you do that, do you realize? I mean, we have what 50 states now and a couple of territories. If this were to work and they would become their own state, we're gonna have literally 700 states. Everybody's gonna want their own state. You realize that, right? If this were even to happen,
It would be the demise of. I
oh
mean,
yeah, I mean there'd be we'd be little,
everybody would be complaining and then moving out. Then also, okay, that state's empty now because why? It had 1,500 residents before. I mean, we're talking about what 1,000 people.
No, we're probably talking about in the size of what they're talking about. I'm guessing probably about 50 to 80,000 people.
Okay, 50 to 80,000 people.
Creating their own
So
state.
if 10,000 people move in 2 years, 20% of their population is gone.
God, could you imagine?
I mean, it's just
could you imagine
it's
the craziness
ridiculous.
of that?
It's just ridiculous.
That's called a ghost town.
They
right?
can
I
make
mean,
up their own laws, like we don't want this kind of person in here. You can't buy a house here. This and that.
I think federal laws would override the.
Yeah,
we don't want
I
your
think,
kind here.
I think the feds would send in and put the. I mean, I'll use a simple example. So there were some towns, not in Illinois, but I can't remember the country, but they were like notorious speed traps where it was purposely set up where the revenue of the town was based on basically preying on out-of-state people. Who, like the speed limit would go from like 50 to like 20 in like a second, and of course they'd be right there, and the tickets were like $250, $500 a ticket. And so I think it got so bad that the federal government actually came in and just took out the sheriff, whoever, just took out the whole infrastructure of that town because it was rotten to
they
the
didn't
core.
just have
It's
the
still-
sheriff's girlfriend kill him and cut up his body.
No, it still happens. There's a stretch of road
Yeah.
in, I think it's Georgia,
Yeah.
where, and I believe it's county, like where the counties change over. So it's a city that's in one county, and I think it's like a quarter of a mile where the speed limit goes from, say, 55 to 25.
Right.
I'm not joking. And they just sit there and they just pick people off. And that is 90% of the revenue is
so
speeding
I think
tickets.
no, I think I know this because I think they got busted recently. I don't think they can do that anymore. I think that
It
whole
was like unconstitutional.
yeah
you
that
know,
that
Did
whole
we
thing.
talk about on the show?
Yeah, they got busted. They got busted, and they're not doing that anymore. Yeah, they got big time busted. But they were. It was a super crazy speed trap.
But it was kind of the same thing you were alluding to. They kind of created their own little laws within the laws, and they took like a legitimate law, and they obviously just kind of put it on steroids and used it for their own purposes. So even though it was like technically a law, like speeding's obviously against the law, they kind of created their own little law within the law to enrich themselves, right?
You know what?
Fond
I
du
look
Lac,
at-
I
you look
drove,
at it
if
that
you
way.
drive, well, so if you go up through Wisconsin and you go like to Minocqua or St. Germain,
yeah.
you have to drive through Fond du Lac, Wisconsin.
Yeah. Is that how far north is that? Where's Fond du Lac? Is that like by Green Bay or is that like super?
Yeah, I think
okay.
it's somewhere up there.
All right.
It's
Like
it's up
3
there,
hours
but,
away, but
over more.
Oh, yeah.
It's when you go through, so the speed limit goes from 65. Well, at the time it went from 55 to like 35.
Mhm.
And I got a ticket in Fond du Lac.
Yeah, Westfield was the same thing when we.
It's
I
only a
remember
2
we-
mile
yeah.
stretch or something like that. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, we used to drive to Minocqua all the time. My grandfather had a house there, and yeah, you would drive through Westfield, and you'd be doing 80 whatever down the road. But then when you got to Westfield, you had to literally do 30 through this town.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was just a one lane. Yeah, it was a weird 1 lane road. It was pretty bad. All right. Let me ask you guys this question: would you want to know how you were conceived?
Like the process, like
I was
like
conceived
like
the old-fashioned way.
No. I guess I'm saying this wrong. Would you want to know the story of the night of your
Oh,
conception?
that's actually good. Obviously we can't go back in time.
do you really want-
the answer is no.
Yeah.
I
Would you
don't- I
really
don't wanna
want
know.
your mom, dad, whomever?
Well, I can only imagine because my mom was 19, and my dad was like 21. So I'm sure it was in the back seat of a car somewhere.
Would you want to hear the story?
I think I've heard it.
Really?
I think
Well,
I'm,
he just gave a lot of detail.
I think I'm just
He
giving you
he
the.
just gave a lot
Well,
of
I know
detail.
their ages. I know my mom was 19 when she was.
Yeah,
you
But
know.
you're
pretty young,
guessing.
pretty
There's
young.
no way they told you that the night you were conceived, you were banged in the back of an Oldsmobile.
She didn't put it that
Well,
way.
his egg was inseminated at the back of an
Is this-
Oldsmobile.
are you going to talk about Molly Ringwald right
Yes.
now? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think it was the back seat of a car.
Okay. There's nothing wrong
But
with that.
you guys say
No, what I mean, come on. Half the people born in the fucking 50s and 60s were probably conceived in the back of a
Well,
car.
the
Yeah.
baby boomers, when
yeah,
I think,
I mean,
so after World War II and all the GIs came home, that was like the biggest birth growth, during that's called
the
the
baby
that's called the
boomers.
baby
Yeah,
Right,
boomers.
but
my parents are baby boomers.
1945 to
course,
1955
yeah.
or
yeah,
whatever.
same.
back
But
seats.
do you want to know that?
Why?
Do you
why?
want to
why
do you want to
not?
share that? Do you want that story shared with the world?
The back seat of a car,
Matt-
or are you talking about something worse?
Matt,
No, I'm just anything.
It could have been worse in the
Matt-
back seat of a
Matt,
car.
just because you
Could
were,
be.
you were conceived in a brothel, it's okay. You
No,
have something to tell us.
We're talking about a guy, Ted, that's seen "I Spit on Your Grave" in the movie theater.
Yeah.
And that's a bad
Well,
conception.
wasn't Freddy Krueger actually the worst conception? Was Freddy Krueger wasn't his mother raped by 10,000 maniacs when she was locked in the asylum
Yes.
overnight, according to the story, or 1,000 lunatics?
I don't know. It was 10,000 Maniacs. That was a band.
That was a
yeah. But that's probably the worst conception story I've heard. So there's
Yeah,
nothing
that's
gonna top that
there
one.
is that.
Listen,
you're
if-
onto something
nothing's
there.
gonna
if Def Leppard is my dad, and my mom was banged by, and I'd rather be Def Leppard, I guess, than 10,000 Maniacs. They had way more songs. Yeah, but Mark is right. So I found the story. Molly Ringwald shared, I guess, a sweet story. I don't know. She told the world that her daughter Matilda, man, that is a tough one. That is a tough
I
name.
think they call her Maddie.
See, you know what? She was conceived in the dressing room at Studio 54.
By whom?
By
her
her
and her
dad.
dad,
Yeah,
yeah.
But her mom was her dad.
Now, see, when you say conceived, I thought it meant like the kid, like she was pregnant and the kid was born in the dressing room, or
No,
she was
that's birth.
she was inseminated.
She was
in-
made.
She was inseminated in the dressing room. Okay,
Yes,
see,
yeah.
I always get those terms confused.
Yeah.
All right, got
So-
it.
Doggy
so-
style.
yeah, so they're-
doggy style.
See,
Mark,
Bent
we're losing-
over a desk.
Okay, Mark. Now it's
no,
getting
but,
crazy.
but that's the thing. I mean, so
no, you want details, right? So Molly Ringwald was bent over a chair
no one wants.
while everybody was watching.
nobody wants that.
Nobody wants
yeah.
that. Nobody wants
but,
that.
But it was one of those things, and I guess her and her daughter were on this show, and they were
On
talking
stage.
about it, right? and they're doing it, and one of the things that I mean, I don't really want those personal details. It seemed to me like a cry for attention, like Molly Ringwald
She
cried
could
for
go
attention.
back there and see where she was conceived.
I
heard because
Well,
I heard
and the kid was on stage with her when she's telling the story.
Yeah, so they're together, and she's
Yeah.
telling the story, right? And it seems to me like a cry for attention because nobody
Excuse
pays
me,
attention
I
to Molly.
gotta take this.
Yeah, nobody pays attention to Molly Ringwald anymore.
What? No, she's on a really good show right now.
But who?
Molly Ringwald.
16 Candles.
What
she's-
show?
I don't remember the name of the show. I haven't seen it, but
You haven't seen it yet, Ted. It's really good.
it's
I-
popular. That's
I-
why they're talking about.
I didn't
her
read
right
the
now.
bill, but we'll
Okay.
pass it. We'll pass it first and read it later.
She's not. Molly Ringwald's not. She's been in a lot of things. I mean, she's not stopped acting.
Yeah. And
she,
she's been
she hasn't.
and she's been
I
to,
haven't
and she's
seen
been to
it.
a lot of places.
Ted, have you?
obviously.
Yeah. Well, she's been to one place
She's been,
for sure.
she's been around.
But,
we know
but
that.
the funny thing is she made a comment. She said, "This is
a
what she
jerk.
said." She said, "It's so Matilda to be conceived in such an iconic place," and I'm thinking, it
Oh,
wasn't.
she had a choice.
yeah, like she had no choice.
Why
at
did
all
you
in
decide
this.
to be conceived
Yeah,
there?
yeah.
Oh, you silly girl.
I just feel like
Did
it's
so-
just
did-
like it just seemed to me like a cry for
Did
attention.
somebody explain the concept of if you weren't ovulating at that particular moment, you probably wouldn't have gotten pregnant? You know, did that ever cross your mind? I'm not a gynecologist. I'm just saying, you know. So.
Teddy, I just don't think you need to share those. I mean,
What if
just,
the guy
does
had
her
low,
daughter?
What if the guy had low sperm count? I don't know.
No, does her daughter want these stories to be told about her?
Oh, I
That's-
know what she was in. She was in that Dahmer thing. That Dahmer HBO Showtime. She was in that series.
What was that forever ago? I don't know,
No,
man.
it was 2 years ago.
I mean, she wasn't Dahmer, so she wasn't the star, right? I mean, did she get killed in it? I don't know. I mean,
She was in the Kissing Booth, the Kissing Booth 2, the Kissing Booth 3.
stop it now.
Yeah.
Straight to video, the Kissing Booth 4, The Revenge,
No,
and
just
she was
3.
in my favorite one,
They're filming that
the
one
Kissing
right now.
Booth Studio 54 edition. Dude, I no, they are not. Please don't say they're filming the Kissing
I'm
Studio
just joking,
4.
I'm
Oh my
assuming.
god.
But that's where I saw her last, was in that Dahmer. I stopped watching after like the third episode, but
So basically, it was a case of too much information that she provided to all
Yeah,
of us.
I just don't understand the concept
for
of
our,
sharing.
for,
that.
our, for our entertainment and our amusement. Thank you, Mr. Ringwald.
No,
you know, she
appreciate
was on
that.
a lot of shows when we were kids, like Different Strokes and Facts of
Yeah.
Life.
yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah.
Right, and she hasn't been in anything
No
except
conception on those shows.
she didn't say she didn't share that yet. There might have been a lot of conception. She
She'd
just
have been young.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea, man. I just don't. I don't want to know that, and I don't think anybody else.
Yeah, I don't know why celebrities decide to tell the world those things that it's like TMI, right? We don't. I mean, fine, keep it to yourself.
Publicity, man. That's
Yeah, that's
all
it.
they
That
want.
is. Yeah, stay relevant. But their kids are paying the price for it now because, like, I could tell you guys this, and I could tell the 69,500 listeners,
70,000.
70,000. They round it up.
No, it's above 70,000.
But you know, what, if you're, let's assume she's. I'm not saying she's like as rich as like say Robert Downey Jr. But let's say she's obviously very comfortable financially, and her kid obviously has led a sheltered life. Kid's name. It's like where celebrities give their kids weird name like Apple,
Well, sheltered
Matilda,
life is not. That's
you
not
know,
the right thing to say.
Chaz, whatever it is. But the point
her
is,
daughter's a big time actress.
yeah,
now.
when you
Yeah,
get that much
it's not
money,
sheltered.
does it really matter to them? I mean, what do they don't care about what we think is like, to us, we're just like peasants, right? Like to celebrities, we're just like the collective peasants. They don't care what
so
we
as
say
long
or
as
think
whatever
about.
she says, as long as it gets people to talk about her or
Yeah, it's like the Kardashians. There's no such thing as bad publicity. As long as their name is being mentioned in any capacity, that's the goal. It doesn't matter. Like when you read about, this celebrity is being quote unquote slammed for these comments she made, they love that shit because they're relevant, right? Every time we mention a name like a celebrity, that's good for them, right?
but it all has. I mean, it all comes back,
Is
right?
Khloe Kardashian? How much plastic surgery has she had?
Yeah, I mean, but it all comes back to it all comes back to like your. I don't know, man. I just don't think that's something you share. It just seems weird to me that people are okay with that.
Wait, on a more important note, are we going to talk about P. Diddy's drug mule at any point in this show?
Who?
Mark, you're like a kid who wanted into the room with no frame of reference. All right, please. I'm kidding.
I said who?
Who? P. Diddy.
P. Diddy, the famous rapper
allegedly-
producer,
Yeah, allegedly P. Diddy's drug mule.
Yeah.
who was a
busted.
former guard playing at Syracuse, was carrying pink cocaine
He
at the
didn't
airport.
play. He didn't get any playing time.
Probably not. He came on the bench. Okay, yeah, but he got busted at whatever airport carrying pink
I know the story. I
pink
know.
cocaine. And so here's my question: he's obviously not a very good drug mule because within 5 seconds he got linked up to P. Diddy as his employer. Isn't the whole purpose of having a drug mule is that they can never be traced back to you as hiring the drug mule?
I don't know.
That
I
defeats the
think
whole.
so.
That defeats the whole purpose
But that's
of the
not
drug
why I
mule.
said who. I thought you said Pete Diddy.
I'm sorry.
Not P Diddy.
Pete-
Like who? I thought you said Pete Diddy.
Diddy. Hold on. You know what we're
That's
gonna
what
do?
I thought you said. That's why I said who.
Hold on, Mark. You know what we're gonna? You know what I'd
Ted's
like.
so hip.
I'd like to talk to her right now about Dave Kardashian. Yeah, and Pete Diddy. Yeah. No, I was telling Teddy if I have a drug mule, if I'm P Diddy and I have a drug mule, allegedly,
Or you're just a rich guy with billions of
there's
dollars.
no way that this drug mule knows he's working for me.
You'd probably have a Pete. You'd probably have like a drug donkey. Not right, or a burro, like a drug burro.
like a
Are we
wild
doing that?
burro,
We're
a
not
wild
doing
burro.
that.
Okay.
No, but I'm saying if I got a drug mule if I have a drug mule, okay, if I'm rich enough to have a drug mule,
Can you say
there's-
drug mule one more fucking
There's
time?
no, but there's
I
so
have
many.
a bumper sticker that says, "Have you hugged your drug mule today?" All right, I'm sorry.
No, but I'm gonna have a couple levels of.
I break for drug mules.
I was a drug mule, and all I got was this lousy T-shirt.
My drug mule can beat up your grandma.
My drug mule is smarter than your honor student.
Oh man!
Wait, this is a whole new line of marketing. We should explore this
All right,
later.
rewind. Keep it to ourselves.
Man. Holy shit! No, I'm just thinking that I would have some levels of separation so that if he got busted, he would never know that he was drug muling for me. And by the way, I looked it up after Teddy talked about this. Pink cocaine is it's not cocaine, and it's just this like cheap, shitty.
It's like ecstasy. What is it?
It's Himalayan
it's-
salt.
Yeah, it's
Himalayan pink.
it's like ketamine and ecstasy. It's absolute crap.
So it's something they put together,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
So P Diddy isn't even he's not even getting like he's getting shitty drugs. He had a shitty drug mule, and now he's got shitty drugs. I don't even understand the
Well, I'm just
concept
trying to
of it.
picture this. Okay, so they get his drug mule at the airport, and they pull him in. Obviously, the TSI security
P.
gets him in
Diddy.
the side room. Sir, are these your drugs? No.
P Diddy,
Who are you working for? P. Diddy.
sir,
Here's
what-
his address. There's his business card. Thank you.
sir, could you spell your name? P Diddy.
No, P. Period. Diddy.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. No, it just seems really weird. I mean, I feel bad for these guys. I really do.
For who? The drug mule?
For P Diddy.
Oh, you feel bad for P. Diddy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because
All
He
that
didn't do- 'cause
money
he didn't do
because
anything wrong.
he didn't make good employment choices.
No, he's got all that money, and he's got no one helping him make better choices.
He's.
I mean, here
You ever
okay,
see
here.
him? You ever? I mean, he's
No.
He's
Okay.
special.
So wait, hold on a second. Let's say after the show, three of us go to the bar, right? And we're talking, and I say, "Hey guys, here's what I'm thinking about doing. I'm thinking about hiring somebody to drug mule some pink cocaine for me."
Check, please.
Yeah.
I gotta go, man.
Here's what I would hope. I would
Have
hope
fun.
that one or both of you, and probably not Ted, probably more like you.
Ted's in on it.
Right.
Ted, that sounds like a good
No.
idea.
So it's just you? Well, me and Ted. But I would hope that you would say, that's a terrible idea.
Ted would invite the
And don't do
waitress
it.
to get in on it too.
He would.
Are you in?
Yeah. Now, let me ask you a question. Hypothetical. Let's just say two people who look a lot like me and Matt. But I would hope that there would be somebody in his world.
Who's the adult in the room?
Yeah.
Who's the adult?
And now I feel
Well,
bad for him
his
because
son. His son was it.
No, his son's named in a lawsuit. So
I
P.
know.
Diddy and his son's named in a
Q?
lawsuit.
Is that Q Diddy?
Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know, it's one-
for
one after.
allegedly,
The both of them double-teamed the girl.
drugging women, or I don't
Yeah.
know what they did. You know
What?
Yes.
Where do you think the pink cocaine's going?
Wait a minute. Are you
Wait.
saying that completely allegedly,
The two of them together, right?
P.
Isn't this
Diddy
what-
and his son.
Supposedly, yeah.
Yes.
I didn't read the
He's
details.
being
but
accused of this. Yeah.
yeah. Like either drugging or obviously forcing himself on some women. And the kid looks like a clone of his dad. But yeah. So there's some
Oh,
charges.
by the way, are
out
we
there,
going to
so.
change? How soon is it to where we change like roofies and Mickeys and we call them Cosbys? That dude, that chick
Or
just
Diddy's?
got. That chick just got Cosby'd. I did that the
Dis-
other night. My
got
wife's like,
got
Diddied.
Diddied.
I
How
like
about
that.
diddly squat?
Did you just slip me a Cosby?
Check your drugs for Diddy. Yeah. Oh man. I mean, it's so weird. At what point
You don't
are
hear
you
this
so
happen-
wealthy
you
that
don't-
you just make every choice you make is
You
terrible?
don't hear this happening to Kanye West or Jay-Z, right? Because they're more clever than that, right?
Clever, yes, clever.
Well,
That's
I
what
don't
it's
think
call.
you can compare Jay-Z to any of these other guys. I mean,
he was a drug.
Jay-Z.
He was a drug dealer
Yeah,
back in the
but-
day.
but-
He was
Oh yeah, and Conway's from the West Side.
Kanye.
Yeah, no, he's from Naperville, Illinois. But
he really?
don't tell him that.
All right.
yeah, no,
I'm actually from the West Side. I'm more hood than Kanye. Trust me.
Of course you are. I know.
Yeah. Oh no,
100%.
I mean, Jay-Z, he grew up in a different thing, but I think right now he's an excellent businessman.
Well, he's a billionaire.
But I don't think he's. I
He's
don't
married
think
to
he's,
Beyonce, right?
Yes, he
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
Oh
that's
man.
right.
But yeah, but I mean, I don't think he's making terrible choices like
No.
these guys are. I mean, we all did things when we were young that we're not proud of.
But what if you had $1 billion? Would you have made
Terrible choices.
exactly? Okay,
Jesus
so
Christ.
Let's put that in context.
I
you know.
would need
You
I
made-
would need a team of people around me at all time telling me not to do
You
stuff.
made the choices based on a $20,000 a year income. I'm talking making choices based on $1 billion.
Yeah.
Unlimited money.
But I don't see anything. I've never heard anything bad about Jay-Z. But
No.
I mean, I think Kanye might be a little crazy, and obviously P. Diddy is he's
You mean
allegedly
Allegedly.
a criminal.
a little crazy, Kanye. Just a little.
I mean, yeah. Is
Who's more crazy, him or his naked wife?
his ex-wife.
No, the naked
No, the
one.
current one. There's a current wife.
He's got a new naked wife.
No, she
walks around with her hoo-ha hanging out all the time.
She looks a little bit like Kim Kardashian, just a little bit, and yeah,
He's got a type, Ted.
yeah, obviously
He's got a type.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
She walks around naked.
Yeah,
They
she
go
was-
to dinner with.
she
She's
was-
wearing.
she was-
she
she
has
was-
to cover her crotch.
She was blowing him in
At all
public.
times.
Okay, hold on a second.
She was
hold on a
blowing
second.
him in public in Italy, and they asked him to leave
Yeah.
somewhere.
They,
you know,
they
so-
actually wouldn't let him back in the country like a year later.
Yeah.
They won't let her in because she's always naked.
Yeah. Well, she's hot.
Are you
Let's
telling
cool
me
off, you know?
Kanye got kicked out of a country?
Yeah. Something like
Oh,
that. Ted's
man.
on. I mean, I don't know.
Oh,
the
he's
story.
doing
but-
it
We're not
wrong.
making it up. I mean, that was national news.
I guess I don't pay enough attention to
Like he
entertainment
wouldn't be able
stuff.
to. Like the next poetry slam, he wouldn't be able to go. He wouldn't pass through customs.
He's such a good writer, though.
Yeah.
I guess he wrote a lot of his songs too. That's a damn shame.
No, he is talented.
I can't do it. I was almost going to say something really bad. I was going to say something really, really bad. I can't do it. Speaking of not saying anything really bad, are you ready for your movie mention?
Yeah. Are you?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, I am.
Am I
All right.
sponsored?
Hold on. Yes, you are. Mark's Movie Mentions is brought to you by Elbow Dog Food. Don't complicate your dog's food. Get to the meat of everything your dog both loves and needs with one of Elbow Dog Food's delicious wet or dry recipes.
You know, I would call you a sellout, but that's not the right term I'm looking for.
Piece of shit, I believe, is
No,
what I am.
that's no.
Lying, no good piece of shit.
Just a traitor. Is what I have in mind.
Traitor to
That's not
everything
what
that's
I'm thinking
real.
of, Ted. I'll
Yeah.
talk about it later.
All right, mention something.
All right, so the movie I want to mention tonight came out in 2021, and honestly, it's probably one of the best movies I've seen in recent times. And I might have mentioned it before. The title is Licorice Pizza. It's a romantic comedy drama, so a rom-com drama.
Rom dramedy.
Yeah, so it's 90 minutes long, and it's written by the great, written and directed by the great Paul Thomas Anderson. Awesome guy. He did Magnolia. He did,
Was he in Starsky and Hutch?
No, he didn't do that one.
Paul Michael Glazer? Is that who
No, Paul Thomas Anderson is a writer director. He's
Okay.
done a ton of movies.
Like
Magnolia. He did Punch Drunk Love with Adam Sandler.
Not a fan.
Really?
I'm not a fan.
Okay.
Okay.
It stars Alana Haim, who is from the band Haim. She's got those two songs right now with their sisters.
Corey,
and
is that
and
Corey's
Taylor-
daughter?
No.
You said Haim. Corey Haim. I don't know who she is.
No, Alana Haim.
Oh, okay.
You know the band Haim?
Never heard of that band
I
in
They
my
got
life.
two big hits right now with Taylor Swift. It's three sisters. She's the youngest of the sisters.
Oh, okay. So
They're musicians.
So
She's-
she would be She wouldn't be popular except that she's singing
they were
with
pretty
the most
popular.
popular human being on the planet.
All right, you know
Okay.
Philip Seymour Hoffman, right?
Yes,
His-
isn't he dead?
Yeah, but his son Cooper Hoffman's in this movie.
And he's alive.
Yes.
Okay, just
so
making sure.
Philip Seymour Hoffman was actually in like 5 of Paul Thomas Anderson films.
Okay.
So he's like a reoccurring, person. So he's got his son in the film who was amazing in it. Sean Penn's in it. Tom Waits is hilarious in this movie, and Sean Penn is great in this movie. So it takes place in 1973 Hollywood around a relationship between a 15-year-old boy and a 25-year-old girl. It's hilarious.
Wait,
So
how old are they again?
he's 15, like a sophomore in high school,
Yeah.
and she's 25. So the way they meet is, he's in high school, and it's photo day, right? She's the photographer's assistant, and he totally hits on her. He's kind of like a child actor in Hollywood, and he hits on her, invites her to dinner, and she's like, I'm not going to dinner with you. And then she ends up showing up.
Because you're 15 and it's
Right.
illegal.
And she ends up showing up, and it's a really interesting story. So the film is one of you never know what's coming next. It's just everything is out of nowhere. The acting's great. The set is great. 1973, and Cooper Hoffman, who he plays Gary in the movie, his character is basically one of those guys who thinks like everything that he does is awesome and he can never be wrong, and he just
I don't like guys like that. I don't know anybody like that. I would never want to be like that.
yeah. You should see the movie because he's a really interesting character. It's got one of the best soundtracks in recent times. That song that we did, that duet we did.
Islands in the Sun?
No,
No, I don't know what.
Islands in the Stream.
Yeah,
That
no,
is who we are.
I know what's the
that
song?
song.
That's all right. That's all right.
Yeah, we did that one duet, but that's
Yeah.
featured in the movie. It's just a great film. let me
Oh,
see.
I remember the song because we talked about that. It was in Licorice Pizza.
Yeah, that's why I
That's
said
why
I
we
brought it
mentioned
up
that before.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God, I totally remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, something about this and that.
But
and
the movie, so the movie is just one of those movies where it's so unpredictable. You never know what's coming next. It's 90 minutes long. It's nonstop, and it's a great film. I mean, it's really and Bradley Cooper's awesome, and he's almost got a cameo. Sean Penn's got like a little bit more than a cameo, and Tom Waits is hilarious. It's just you got to see the movie. I highly recommend it. Nobody will be disappointed. It's goofy, but if you know Paul Thomas Anderson, it's right in line with a lot of his movies. You've never seen any of his films?
I've never seen any of the ones you mentioned.
You didn't see Magnolia with Tom Cruise?
It's not Steel Magnolias. It's Magnolia.
Magnolia,
Oh.
yeah.
Is that I saw something like Vanilla Sky or something? And
That's like
wait,
Tom Cruise.
it wasn't Mission Impossible Magnolia? Magnolia Impossible. I mean, honestly, if there's not explosions or Godzilla,
Okay,
in
you
it,
saw Boogie Nights, right? Everyone saw
Yeah,
Boogie Nights.
yeah, I
Okay,
saw
that's
Boogie
Paul
Nights.
Thomas Anderson.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That was
Okay.
a good movie.
So that's like that's one of his first movies. There's a second movie.
That's a
There
good
Will Be
movie.
Blood. He did There Will Be Blood.
Yeah, the one with Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yep.
which one is that?
He's the oil. He's like the oil
the
guy.
oil
who-
monger.
yeah. He's
Yeah,
looking for oil. Yeah, I thought that was. Of course, he won
He
another
won Best
Academy Award.
Actor, yeah.
He always wins an Academy Award. Everything that guy is
Okay,
in.
Ted saw a movie I don't think I saw.
There will be
And
blood.
Punch Drunk Love is a really good movie.
I don't like Adam Sandler. I'm done with Adam Sandler.
This is his first like serious dramatic role. Was
And
Punch
it-
Drunk Love.
When
I'm
you're
pretty sure.
yeah,
I'm pretty
yeah,
sure
but
I'm
when
right
you're
on that.
saying when you're saying Adam Sandler and serious, I can't
Dude,
even
and
maybe
Philip
as a
Seymour Hoffman and Luis Guzman.
actor.
You know Luis Guzman.
Oh, I
He was
love
in Bug-
Luis Guzman.
He's in that movie too. He's awesome.
Oh, I love Luis Guzman. He's in one of the
He's
Community
in a lot of
episodes
his
I
movies
love.
too. He's like in 3 or 4 of his movies. But Paul Thomas Anderson is a great writer and director. He's amazing. Licorice Pizza, 2021, 90 minutes long. It did pretty good at the box office.
Where can we get it? Is
Oh,
it like an
man.
Amazon and Netflix? Where can I? Because every
you
once in
could
a while I
stream
try
it
to.
on Licorice Pizza is streaming on. I believe it's on Netflix.
Okay, I have Netflix and I have free time, so I'm going to
Why?
watch it. I'm going to watch There Will Be Blood too.
That's a good movie. I mean, it's obviously a period piece. It's like back in the 1800s. This guy, he's kind of like a predator who he finds like a family living in a cabin somewhere, but they have like serious oil reserves under their land, so he's trying to buy their land really cheap to get to the oil.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
And then they realize that he wants
Don't
the
give it
oil.
away.
Okay, but
All right, yeah,
okay,
don't give it
I
away.
won't
Don't give it
You
away.
are going to give it.
No.
Licorice Pizza is actually on Amazon Prime for if you have a subscription, and then it's on Apple TV too. You can pay for it for $4.
Okay, so it's worth it. It's good movie to
Oh,
watch.
it's fucking great. It's just great. It really is. You'll enjoy it. It's nonstop. It's just hilarious. It's well written. It's great.
Okay, all right, I'm in.
All right.
Teddy, you in?
yeah, I check it out
Can we watch together?
if necessary. Sure.
On the couch.
Do we have to watch together?
I mean, can you sit over there and I can sit over here?
Yeah, we can. We'll sit far away from each other. Yeah, absolutely far away
Sure.
from each other. All right, so Teddy, I want you to tell me if this freaks you out at all. Are you ready?
Mhm.
Where do you think a lot of organs that people get put into their bodies, donated? Where do you think they come from?
I'm going to say crash victims. People who have organ donor. They have organ donor on their driver's license. I don't think they come from like deceased prisoners, so I'm going to say most of them come from. Since obviously the U.S. has a hard time since everybody's on death row for at least 35 years, everybody on the organ donor waiting list would be long dead by then. So that's not the case. So I'm going to say most of the organs come from, unfortunately, from accident victims who perished before their time.
That is such a weird thing to come up with. Deceased prisoners.
Because
could you imagine like you find out that there's a prisoner somewhere
Yeah.
in a jail in Missouri
Yeah.
who's got the same blood type as you and you need his pancreas
Yeah.
and you just have him killed.
That's why Ted won't go on any of those DNA shows.
Because the logical answer would be we should euthanize humanely a lot of these prisoners who we know are never getting out of prison and just harvest their organs and give them to people on the heart or on the organ donor waiting list. That's what we should be
All right,
doing.
let's,
So
let's,
that is-
let's, let's go
that's just
backwards.
that's my personal
Okay.
opinion.
That is not where I was going with this, just so everyone knows.
Okay,
Absolutely not where I was going with this at all.
Wow.
So the question was,
Ted,
Mark,
you're a barbarian, dude.
Mark, I will ask you the same
I'm
question.
pragmatic, Mark.
Where do you think that the a lot of the organs come from that people get transplanted into them? That's the question.
Like I would say
I'm asking you a question.
from other people that donate their organs.
I said accident victims.
Oh, you mean the cause of death?
No,
No, like someone who like
Where
someone,
do they come from?
Does it
someone
have
di-
to be somebody who's dead?
No, someone who dies in an accident.
Why does it have to be somebody who's dead?
Some-
you could donate your liver. You could donate
Okay,
your kidney.
so
you
you're
could
saying
You
donate-
can't,
you're
you can't
saying-
donate a liver.
Yes, you can. You can donate up to like 80% of your
Okay.
liver.
Yeah, because I think it grows back.
Oh,
It goes
yeah.
back
Yeah.
like in a week.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
that's
could-
right. Oh, that's right. Mickey Mantle had a liver transplant.
Yeah.
It didn't work, but he had one.
Okay, so here's the situation, and a lot of people don't know this. Wow, I did not know this, and it's still freaking me out. They are growing genetically modified pigs to
Yeah.
get organs for people. So
Heart, yeah.
so what they're doing is they're
But
they're-
that's not
they're
where the
changing-
majority of them are coming from.
So they will start to. So there are 100,000 people waiting for transplants at any given time in
Which
America.
specific organs? Like anything?
Any organ.
Let's see. Hearts, lungs, and livers.
Oh, so you heard about this? Just on a side note, so the world's first pig transplant, he had a pig heart.
Yeah.
He actually lived for a while, but then he finally passed away. I think in the last I
Yeah.
want to say year, but he actually had a pig heart for an
They're
organ
getting
transplant.
better at
Yeah.
this, and they're actually changing the pig genes so that they match up with us.
Yeah.
And pigs are being used to grow organs for people.
Which is weird because you think they would use primates because aren't we 99% DNA genetically the same as primates?
I think it's ease. I think it's ease of organs. Like
Okay.
it's easy to get organs from
Well,
pigs.
plus
and,
two, I think like to
and you
heart,
can change them up really
well,
easily.
I think it would be more like because primates. I think pigs. I think like just psychologically, it's easier to probably take it from a pig than like a primate because primates are so similar to us. Even like
Look,
physically.
Ted, I'm pretty sure if you need a heart, you don't give a shit where it's coming from.
Right, but I'm saying, but it's weird that it's not from like a primate because like we're the similar like I said, 99% genetically similar to certain primates. Just FYI.
So
Didn't that, Christian-
FYI,
that
Ted,
Christian
the
Slater-
scientists are not. The scientists are using pigs.
What about that Christian Slater movie? Didn't he have like a baboon heart put in him?
Oh man, with Marissa Tomei, that was so great.
Was it Marissa Tomei? No, that was.
that was Marissa Tomei, man. I'm telling you, that was a great movie.
I thought it was Rosie.
Nope, no, I would have never. I would never watch a movie with that the chick from White Men Can't Jump.
Yeah, I thought it was her.
Yeah, Rosie Perez.
Yeah,
Nope.
wasn't she in that or no?
She's unwatchable. She
Yeah,
was
Marissa
absolute-
Tomei was hot in that movie.
Oh
You're right,
my
it was
God,
her.
yeah, she was great.
Wasn't she my cousin
But
Vinny
yeah.
too?
Yes.
Yeah, but
Best
yeah,
actress.
So what they're saying is that they believe within the next 5 years that they can grow enough pig organs to cover almost everyone that needs a transplant.
Even a liver?
Is that crazy?
Huh.
That's pretty cool.
So so they're going to save all these lives. It might never happen
Because
because there are people who are opposed
yeah,
to
course they are.
killing the PETA is one of them, but there's a couple other groups that are opposed to using animals.
Well, PETA's a terrorist organization.
Here's what we know.
They're a terrorist group.
Every time somebody wants to do something,
I've never seen them walk in with a
They don't
a
care
vest,
about animals.
let's just
They
assume.
care about their cause.
which is animals.
No.
But
I
here,
mean,
but
I
let's
don't-
assume this.
no.
Anytime
They're a
somebody,
terrorist group.
wants to do something, there's always going to be a group somewhere, no matter how small or big, that's against it, right? I mean, that's just human nature, right? Like if you want to, like I want to save all the puppies. There's going to be a group that says, no, man, we're anti-puppy, right? I mean, so it doesn't really matter,
Well,
right?
there's large groups of people that eat puppies.
Yeah,
Well, pigs have a lot of personality.
yeah. Pigs are smarter than dogs. Like the potbelly pig, people have them for pets,
It doesn't just because you have them for a pet doesn't mean it's smarter than a dog. And who gives a shit? I don't need a genius
That's like
for a pet.
It's like
I
Pulp
don't-
Fiction we're talking, right?
Yeah,
Pulp
but
Fiction.
I don't want a genius for a pet.
Right, but I'm saying, but I think technically the pig is actually smarter than or just as smart as a dog. So some people have them for pets. Obviously you don't
I know
want like
Arnold
a
the
full,
pig was smart.
you don't want like a full
People have
size
snakes for pets. It doesn't make them fucking smart.
Pig. No, you're not a snake.
yeah. People have snakes for pets.
I had a snake.
Oh, just on a side note, so you heard about the guy in New York? I guess he had an alligator in his house.
Oh, Matt talked about it last
Oh,
week.
did we for 30 years? We talked about that. Yeah, and the alligator was blind.
Where'd you hear that one,
yes.
Ted?
But he was letting people swim with the alligator.
Kids.
And you wonder why I don't let him drink. You wonder why I make him drink coffee.
And today's last week recap was brought to you by Crown Royal.
Ted being
Brought to you
amazed.
by Crown Royal.
They took the alligator away, by the way.
No, I mean, I thought it was a weird thing, and unfortunately, and I don't think there's going to be enough opposition to it because I mean, when it push comes to shove, people are more important than
We're using animals
than
for a
animals.
lot worse things than this. Believe me.
Yeah, you know what you never want to see? Oh my God, I can never unsee this. I can't believe I remember it. When they test makeup stuff
Yeah.
on animals,
Yeah.
holy shit! You couldn't find something more sad and disturbing
Yeah,
in your entire life.
I've never seen that luckily, but I heard about that. And that
Oh
seems,
my God,
that seems a lot worse. Yeah, so
I will tell you right now, if chicks didn't look super hot in makeup, it's the most disturbing and unbelievable thing you've ever seen in your
but here's
life.
the question:
It's still
if
happening,
if we raise
Hell yeah, it is.
if we raise pigs and cows to slaughter them for food, which is common, and no one seems to be super outraged about that overall, other than some minority groups, why is like raising an animal for organ harvesting? And obviously, you could use their. I mean, I don't know if you could use their meat, but let's just say it's just strictly for organ harvesting to save people.
strictly for-
I would think that's more of a noble cause than having a hamburger at Wendy's or McDonald's or something. That seems more of a noble cause. Personally,
I agree 100%.
if we're doing that, if we're
I
going
just
down
was
that road
wondering
anyway,
if you guys knew.
Just another reason why I like pork.
I
love pigs.
I will say that there is no doubt about it, but the pig is the best tasting animal in the world.
well, bacon. I mean, you can't say no to bacon, right?
I can say no to bacon because I don't really eat meat, but yeah, if I'm gonna, I mean, that's the pig. Any part of the pig is the most delicious thing.
It's like
ever.
the Simpsons episode where Lisa decided to become a vegetarian, and Homer says, "A vegetarian? What do you mean? You're not going to eat bacon? Nope. Pork chops? Nope. Ham? Dad, those all came from the same animal." "Oh, sure they do, Lisa. It's a magical animal." No more sausage? No more ham?
I love
No
Homer.
more bacon?
Oh my
It's a
God!
magical animal.
All right, so this is Teddy's big thing. I know he wanted to talk about this. Teddy, was there a gentleman just recently who faked his own death?
Yes, actually, there was.
Will
my
you-
recollection.
Could you just so we can finish this up? Will you tell us about this man who faked his own death?
Is this somebody you tipped?
So this gentleman was from
No, he was not on a boat.
He was from Kentucky, and I guess he owed $100,000 in back child support. So instead of paying the child support, he somehow managed to. He didn't like fake his death by like the old-fashioned way, where like his footprints disappear into the lake, and he's just gone. I guess he accessed the database to some government agency.
Wait,
to
is that the way people used to do it?
Yeah,
There's
the footprints
there's his
disappear.
footprints,
Yeah,
and there's the lake.
Exactly. Yeah, here's his
dead.
clothes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Here's a burned out body with some dental records by it. Yes.
No doubt about this one.
Exactly.
He's
Be a
gone.
lot
It's
easier.
an open and shut case, Johnson. Open and
Was
shut.
that Lady Bird Lake?
Yeah, might as well be.
There he goes. He obviously drowned himself. You can see where he put up a struggle as he was fighting himself.
So long story short, this buffoon somehow I think he tried to create like a fake death certificate or something. Obviously,
he did.
Obviously, he got caught within 3 nanoseconds because now not only does he owe like the back child support, but now he owes like the government like say I think an extra $300,000 for all the.
They're never
all the-
gonna. Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Obviously, he's obviously indigent. So
but
they're-
it was pretty interesting. So
yeah,
he managed.
He grew a brain. I mean, he definitely grew a brain on that one.
No, he
give him
managed to
credit on
break
that one.
into a bunch of private and governmental databases to create a system where not only did he create his own death warrant, but he got
Or death certificate.
death certificate, but he also got the doctors and the coroners and everything. He got into all these different databases to do all of this stuff, and that he was legally dead, and he got a brand new identity.
Yeah, identity. Yeah.
All of that stuff.
Yeah.
He managed insanely. He managed to do all of that.
There's a lot more, way easier ways to become a deadbeat dad than faking your death.
Well,
Well,
Right? It means a deadbeat dad, he doesn't wanna-
legally,
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
if
he's
you're
a deadbeat
if you're missing for 7 years, legally you're considered legally dead if you are not heard from in 7 years. That's the law in the United States.
I would imagine, though, with the way things are, that you would probably want that certificate to say that you're dead, because if you just went somewhere, this guy couldn't even hide. I don't think he hid for 6 months.
Yeah, but did he stay in his hometown? Like, where do you even? I didn't read the whole story. Like, where he went? If he stayed?
So they
did
gave-
he go
did
to
he
the town next door?
Did he have a
I looked-
funeral? Was there
I
a
looked-
wake?
It's like, hey, there's Bob. I thought we just went to your funeral. He's right there. He's
I
drinking.
looked everywhere. The only thing I can imagine
He's drinking.
of why he got caught so quickly is because he's probably like 3 or 4 miles away, and he ended up at the same bar he was
Yeah,
going to all the
exactly, yeah.
time and was bragging about it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, that's the
What have you been up
only
to?
way.
I'm almost there.
Yep. Yeah, that
One
bitch,
more
that bitch
database.
and my kid ain't getting my money, right? Because that's what it was.
My advice to him: he should have just pulled out early. This never would have happened.
Jesus Christ, Ted.
The bar or his ex-wife?
Yeah,
wife, yeah.
no, but it's just so funny. You know, I mean, how do you get caught so
shit.
quickly?
Kevin Costner doesn't even know $100,000 in child support. Like, what's this kid doing? You know, is he going to
Yeah.
to the Juilliard School of Music or something?
I don't know, man, but he was dead and he had a brand new identity,
Yeah.
and it took less than 6
He
months.
probably
to catch up.
owes like 10 years.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not. He
I
doesn't
suppose,
owe
yeah.
100. He's not paying $100,000 a year.
Well, I mean, the
No,
the
I just
funny thing
totally,
is,
yeah,
the
of
funny
course,
thing
yeah.
is he owes so the fines and everything. He was supposed to be, all the stuff added up to like $500,000
Yeah. So now
and like
it's now it's
30
worse.
years in
Now it's
prison.
worse.
so
Yeah,
they-
now it's worse.
The attorneys knocked it
But
down.
here's
They
the,
knocked it way
but here's
down.
the funny thing: if he's in prison, he can't pay any of it. So
Yeah, yes,
so nobody wins.
But he's going to be
Nobody
in jail for a couple of years, and he owes $200,000 or $300,000 to her. He owes the government I mean, I saw a picture of this guy, and no offense, and he might be a computer genius and very smart.
Yeah.
In the picture that a couple of pictures that I saw, he didn't look like he had a pot to piss in. So even though all these fines are here, he's never going to.
Well, here's the thing: couldn't you just? I mean, wouldn't you just get a passport and go to just like a non-extradition country and just liquidate all your accounts, go somewhere, and just never be heard from again? Because you can't. Like remember we joked about this back in the 50s.
Not everybody can just pick up and leave this country.
So I'm saying in the
Plus,
1940s.
he's from Kentucky, Ted.
Yeah, I mean,
He probably
that changes things.
Well,
Okay.
no, Ted. Probably he's from Kentucky. He probably doesn't even know that there's like other places.
Well,
There's only America.
Dude, you want Kentucky
there's
again, man.
Wait. There's Indiana. There's Ohio.
No,
I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
it's a big.
If
It's
he
a big
goes
world
into
out there.
Indiana, it's another world.
It's a big
for him.
world out there. It's a big world out there. There's Ohio. There's Indiana. There's
Yeah,
there's Arkansas.
But I would imagine if you go to Indiana and you start bragging about all the stuff you did because he doesn't seem like a brain surgeon. Yeah, you're going to be caught. I don't know, within 6 months.
I'm not advocating, but I'm saying when the best course, like I say, update your passport, just disappear with whatever funds you have, and just start a new life. Teach English in like Thailand or some shit like that. I mean, no. First of all, no one's gonna look for you for $100,000 child support. It's not like you just committed a Class X felony, right? No one's gonna look for you.
This is a guy that did not want to leave Kentucky.
He didn't think things through.
No. I'll bet you a dime to a dollar he stayed in Kentucky somewhere. I mean, that's when you live in Kentucky, that's what you know. That's it. You just know Kentucky.
So it's funny. He was so sophisticated in terms of just like actually clever enough to
he was very clever.
document wise. But the most important part, he was still physically there. And someone's going to say. So here's what if I'm his consultant, I say, sir, that's great. You have all these documents, but we see you. You're alive.
And then you said, obviously you said, what you said, but I would say simplest thing to do, get a fucking job and pay for your kid. Yeah, I get it.
Even
I
if
get
it's
it.
even if it's $25 a month.
Right. You might hate your ex-wife.
Yeah.
Right. You might hate her, but it's your kid.
Yeah.
So just pay for your goddamn kid, you piece of shit.
Yeah. And plus, well, I mean, here's the thing. I think by law they can't never garnish more than 50% of his paycheck anyway. Whatever
I
job
don't know
he
how
has.
much you make at McDonald's.
Yeah.
Is 50% of Burger King? You owe $100,000. You'll be paying for the next 384 years. Thank you.
It seemed a lot of work to just avoid paying $100,000. So.
I mean, it's the same
But
thing as.
it was $500,000. Now it was $500,000.
Yeah, it's the same thing as the guy who tries to fake his own death off the boat and drowns.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's it's a great plan.
That's a great plan.
No, but we were joking. Like back in the 1940s and 50s, before there was any internet, a guy could leave his family, move to a town like 5 miles away, and start a new family, and he would never be found again, right? Because there's no nothing, right? There's no where to trace him.
And the stupid internet.
There's no
The stupid.
smartphones. There's no find my phone locator on the iPhone. There's no nothing, right? There's just
You know what'd be great? You know what'd be great? If he got busted because he kept his cell phone and his wife just hit the find my phone button.
he's at
His
Bob's,
ex-wife?
He's at Bob's bar again.
Yeah.
In stool number 3. Okay.
That
Problem
dumb
solved.
son of a bitch. He just moved one stool over.
no, he would have put it. He would have buried it. He would have buried it.
You think?
Yeah, then she'd be. Oh, he's buried with his phone. All right, he's dead.
You know what? What's funny? I don't know what. I got to get more. I looked as much as I could to find as much information, like how he said he died, how he got busted, but there's no info on this at all. I couldn't find it anywhere.
So one of the
bummed
guys
out.
on the FBI's most wanted list, you have the FBI's 10 most wanted. So this guy back in the 1970s.
Wouldn't it suck if you were 11?
Yeah.
You did all that bad stuff, and you're just like you wake up one day. It's like I'm in the top 10. It's like you're 11, and you're just like, Oh fuck.
So I want to say it's like the late 60s, early 70s. So this guy, he's like an accountant. He's like in his 40s. He kills his whole family. He kills his whole family, and he just disappears. And he's on the FBI's most wanted list for like 40 fucking years. And they do the age, generation, how he's gonna look, what he looks like now, what he's gonna look like then. And they found the fucker. Like,
Did he look like? Did the age generation thing work?
It did, yeah. It's funny. He looked like he was elderly when he was in his 40s because he was already bald, and he just looked even older. But they found the fucker like 30 years later, and he had a new family. And yeah, he lived like.
Did he kill them?
No, he had a new family, and he just lived.
So
with
he
them.
had a good family. The second one was a good family.
It was a better family. Yes, it was one that didn't piss him off. Yeah, and I think he lived like I want to say within 100 miles of where the fucking crime scene was. So he was right there the whole time. So yeah.
God, it's so funny they got busted, and probably the wife and the kids are just like, oh my God, I'm just so glad we were the good family.
That guy looks familiar.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah, but
hey, Mom, who's this guy in the
No, because every time
paper?
remember
Looks like Dad.
Remember John Walsh in America's Most Wanted, and they would bring up this guy every goddamn time because they could never find this fucker at all for like years and
I
years.
would have just assumed.
I
you're
can't
saying
remember.
Ted.
I'm
Ted,
sorry. I'm
you're
sorry.
saying fucker a lot.
I'm sorry.
Just this guy. He's
They
a
can't,
fucker.
they can't remember the guy's. I can't remember the guy's name, but it was like one of the most. It was like he was in the top
Are you
10
saying
for
Fokker or fucker?
for years and
Wait,
years.
your name is Gaylord Fokker. Gay Fokker.
So when they found him, it was just really weird and he did look like that the FBI whatever like the
So that
generated
works.
age. Yeah, it did work. It did work to a degree, but actually that didn't work. But somebody just turned him in. Like somebody was watching FBI's Most Wanted or. And they just basically said, "Yeah, I know the guy. I see him. I work with the guy." And,
I know that fucker.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, okay, he got away with it for like 30 years, and so now they caught him, and it's like, okay, he didn't get the death penalty, so he's gonna live comfortably in a cell for the rest of his life. So I mean,
You know what they call? You know what they call him when they caught him?
Oh God.
The dumb fucker.
I knew it. I thought you should say dumb fuck.
Yeah.
All right, we got to put this thing to bed because Ted is now on a swearing jag, and I don't know where this could possibly go. I'm always glad when Ted gets into one of these things and it's at the end of the show because I always assume people are like 1 hour in and they're just like, I'm not going to listen to the last half hour. Ted's been drinking and we don't know what he's going to say. All right, Ted, last thoughts.
I'm seriously thinking about not faking my own death now.
You're not going to fake your own death?
I'm not. I'm just gonna live it out. I'm just gonna gut it out. And see
Oh, I
what
thought you were
happens.
just going to just die.
I'm gonna gunt it out and see what happens.
Oh God, this is, man. You know what? I don't care if he comes in next week and says, "Oh, it's one of those days, no coffee. I need a drink."
That was his line?
Yeah, that was
You
his
are
line.
a sucker.
I'm a sucker.
dude.
I'm a chump. I'm a chump. You and I both know I'm a chump. All right, Mark. Last thoughts.
Oh man, don't get caught up in where or how you were conceived. Yeah.
Is that because we're all God's children?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, okay.
I mean, you know what the funny part is? She could have just been regular,
Just
in a
don't-
room.
just
it
don't
could have been
worry
in a
about it.
bed. It could have been anything, and she just told that story.
I know.
I just feel like
I know, but she
I
should
feel like
get
she was
caught up
lying.
on it. Don't worry about that kind of stuff. It's take nothing for granted. It's great to be alive.
Yeah,
That's
it doesn't matter how you
In
got
the great
here.
words of the great Lynn Bramer. It's
Yeah.
great to be alive.
Yeah, that's actually a good train of thought. It doesn't really matter how you came into the world, or how you got here, as long as you're here.
And know that your old man could take you out.
Oh.
Because he brought you in.
Brought you into this world, and I'll take you. Yeah. And baseball season is starting for a lot of little kids, for all the coaches out there. And in
Not
case
Niles yet. They're not done with
here,
the ballpark.
this guy's in Chicago. Oh yeah, this guy Kelly and Derod.
Derod.
We're in Chicago, so maybe this guy, the coach guy, is listening. Relax, man.
Yeah, take it down
Nobody-
a notch. Take it down
You know
a
what?
notch.
You know what? When Bryce Harper and Barry Bonds and all them were 7 years old, nobody knew they were going to be great.
Yeah, they
Just
did.
little kids.
You just named two people that they knew they were going to be great when they were 7.
I don't think so, man.
Bryce Harper and Barry Bonds.
They were 7. How the fuck? How could you possibly
Have you heard
tell?
stories about them when they were 7?
They were. So I will tell you right now, Barry Bonds is obviously a cheater and a drug. He
was hitting home runs out of Met Stadium
Yeah.
when he was like
Yeah.
12.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So all right.
And Bryce
Okay.
Harper is doing the same thing.
Well, he was in the
Okay.
home run derby in high school, right? On TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he went to Nevada, whatever
So
high school.
terrible examples.
Use two other
Okay,
guys.
terrible examples. Here, how about this? The White Sox are a terrible team. Anybody who's on the White Sox right now, no one knew at age 7 that they were going to be good. And they're barely good enough to make the pros because they're on the White Sox. So how would you even know?
And Barry Bonds is the greatest baseball player who lived.
Are you honestly going to say that?
Yeah, he is.
I find your words offensive.
Well, whatever.
I can only hope that Barry Bonds fakes his own death
That's my opinion.
and then accidentally does it right.
Calmer than you.
No.
Calmer
All
than
right.
you, dude.
Listen, we got some great guests coming up. See, next week it's just the three of us, but we got some great guests coming up in the next couple weeks. Got a lot of really cool people doing a lot of really cool things, so I'm super excited about it. Keep listening. Keep telling your friends, and damn it, get on social media and just hit that like button, or if you're on TikTok or Instagram, just like us and enjoy. And we'll see everybody next week.